Rogers Sportsnet, CHL Hockey.
Many a National Hockey Leaguer, both past and present, has worn the burgundy and white of the Peterborough Petes. No doubt again today you'll see many players on the ice between the Petes and the Ottawa 67's that will be wearing National Hockey League jerseys in years to come. The Peterborough Petes fans are ready for Game 6, and certainly it's just moments away. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jack Miller, and welcome to the Peterborough Memorial Centre for Game 6, this Eastern Conference quarterfinal series in the Ontario Hockey League, the Ottawa 67's and the Peterborough Petes. These teams finished 5 points apart in the regular season. Ottawa seeded number 4, Peterborough seeded number 5. We expected a close series. That's what we have as we have a look at what got us to this point. Ottawa winning games 1 and 2. Close game in number 1 with Scott Shepard getting the winner. Corey Locke with a pair in game 2. Pete's come back to tie the series with 3 and 4 victories. Greg Chambers with 2 in game 3. Eric Stahl with a hat trick in game 4. And then Pierre Mitsu with the game winner in overtime on Friday night in Ottawa. That has the 67's ahead in this series, 3 games to 2. Here's a former Pete who played in the National Hockey League and had a big playoff in 1990 with the Washington Capitals in John Druce. It's a special time of year, John, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes, especially from the coaching box.
Well, there really is. These coaches are doing a terrific job. There's a time of season when the top players need to stand up, but also role players have to stand up. And right now, Rick Elaine is doing a terrific job getting out his checking line against Miguel de Lille and Zenon Konopka, their top line. Now, John House is the man that they've chosen to do this, along with his wingers Josh Patterson and Matt Herneisen. These guys have done an outstanding job. Konopka has a goal and an assist, and also de Lille only has a goal and assist in this series, so they're doing their job and what it takes.
So if Konopka and de Lille aren't scoring, Ottawa's leading in the series. That means others are picking up the slack.
Well, absolutely. Others are really doing a terrific job. And the one guy that's doing a really good job is Scott Shepard. Brian Kilray picked him up from the Kingston Frontenacs earlier in the season. He came over. He's played on the top line, the second line, the third line. Wherever they put him, he seems to be doing very well. He has 6 points in this series, along with Jeremy Akeson, another acquisition that they picked up at the start of the season. Jeremy's a young player. He started in Nepean earlier. He's really picked it up, and he's second on the team in scoring with 5 points.
With last change today, you know Rick Elaine with his team facing elimination, you know he's going to be doing a lot of coaching, looking for those line matchups. Let's get his thoughts.
Well, I don't think you can be surprised by anything at come playoff time. I think they have some players that have really stepped up for them that I don't know that you can say we weren't expecting them to step up, but some unlikely sources of offense, I guess. They have a very definitive top line that we were quite concerned with coming into the series, and up until this point have done a reasonably good job of shutting them down, and they've been getting offense from secondary sources, and that's been proving to be a bit of a problem for us. So hopefully tonight, you know, some of the guys in our lineup maybe that haven't provided us with a lot of offense could step up and score a couple big ones for us.
I think we're fortunate. Jeremy Akeson's come a long way, and Scotty Shepard's really come on and done the job, you know, so we're getting different fellows contributing, but Corey Locke has been a big surprise. I mean, he's a rookie in name only because we use him penalty killing, power play, so we're getting our goals from Corey Locke as well, and so when you get some of the other fellas picking it up, which is great, but we still need the Konopkas, de Lilles, and the others to get their share.
We are going to get to see 2 very exciting offensive defensemen this afternoon. Lucas Krychek of the Peterborough Petes. On the other end, John Zion of the Ottawa 67's. Coming up, the CHL playoffs on Rogers Sportsnet.
Rogers Sportsnet, CHL Hockey. Brought to you by Canadian Tire. By Dodge. Grab life by the horns. By Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game. And by Sherwood, proud to serve the hockey world.
A very fine Easter Sunday to you and your family as you look in this afternoon at the Peterborough Memorial Centre. In the Nets, brought to you by iTech Hockey, supplier of the exclusive goalie mask of the Canadian Hockey League. J.F. Perra has been the principal goaltender for Ottawa this season. There are his playoff numbers. He's backed up by John Ceci this afternoon. David Curie, they wondered if he could carry the load as the #1 guy. He has more than proven himself worthy. Comes into this game having appeared in every minute thus far of the postseason. for the Peterborough Petes. Off the face-off, and you'll note Ottawa in their familiar barber pole sweaters. John Zion is number 4, and he'll play it off the boards out at center. Albiani won't get it. Swatted away from him, and it will be played ahead by Ryan Card. Zion up through center, but across 2 lines to Matthew Albiani. Today's starting lineups brought to you by Toyota Canada and its dealers. And as you can see, these starting lineups are already getting very familiar with one another.
Well, there's a lot of rough stuff going on. They want to prove to each other. Now, John Zion is one of the guys we talked about who needs to step up along with Brendan Bell. Up on forward, we talked about Scott Shepard doing a terrific job, performing very well. Zenon Konopka, Miguel DeLille, Chapman, these guys need to step up. This is a big game for the 67's team.
Certainly is. They want to be putting away the Peterborough Petes. It's been a long time since the Ottawa 67's have faced the prospect of a Game 7. They were not once in that situation a year ago, and they won the OHL championship. And John, I've got to think that that experience should serve Ottawa well here today. Centering pass, Miguel DeLille. Nice to see that he made it. We'll tell you the story. Long shoot down by Herneisen right on goal, and it's handled by J.F. Perros. We have a look at the Peterborough lineups.
We talked about how this Peterborough Petes team has done an outstanding job shutting down the other team. The top 3 defensemen, Dustin Wood is a guy who played 30 minutes a game. We'll see a lot of him in today's game. Up front, this top line of Eric Stahl, Jamie Chamberlain, Matt Armstrong. They're doing a terrific job, and they're putting the points on the board for this Peterborough team when they need the points.
Boy, Jamie Chamberlain has really come on. He had kind of an interrupted season, first with Kingston, then coming on to Peterborough, where he started his OHL career and played here 3 years, and then back as an overage, and he has had a dynamite playoff so far. They'll need more from him this afternoon. The Petes are facing elimination. Yaramitsu, the hero in Game 5 with the overtime winner. Played around the boards, cut off, centered in front. Perron gets down to see it. It bounces back into traffic and now worked off to the boards, and Chapman will get it out. And this will go for icing. Lucas Krychek, he has great speed, gets back, touches it up, and we'll get a face-off in the Ottawa zone. And I guess we should get that story about Miguel DeLille in before we go too far, but he missed the bus. It was just car trouble. It was an innocent thing, and he did not accompany his Ottawa teammates here. He called Brian Kilray. Kilray said, talk to your landlady, do something, just get in the car and get down here. He did. Ottawa controlling deep in their own zone, but Peterborough very aggressive on the forecheck as Brad Self goes in to try and pick it up. Out through center down in the right wing corner. And after there is Brett Scully, centered right on goal, actually deflected in there. And a good chance for Ottawa early on. Out in the right wing corner. Aitchison held off the puck. It's picked up instead by Sean Scully. Back to the half boards. They'll work it in deep. We'll see a lot of this in this rink particularly. Shot point blank by Scully, and that one deflected in behind the net. Kicks over in the corner. Aitchison going in after it. And he'll be paired in there against Jamie Tardif, 16-year-old. Centering pass in front. Brendan Bell celebrating his 19th birthday today. He'll come in off the point regularly. Now it's going to be played to Card in the corner. He's going to get it up and out. And an icing indication coming up against the Peterborough Petes. Brendan Bell goes back to touch up.
Well, we talked about the guys who have been stepping up. Scott Shepard, we mentioned him in the opening. He's picked up from the Kingston Frontenacs. He has the offensive touch. He scored some big goals since being acquired. And you mentioned that it's not easy coming to a team late in the season, but he's really adjusted well for this team for Brian Kilray.
He's blossomed under Brian Kilray is what he's done. He's been put in an offensive role. And I know Larry Mavety did not want to give him up in Kingston. He picked up Brian Rodney in the deal, and it's worked out very well for both teams. Brian Rodney will certainly come into his own next season. Herneisen, and center, carried across by Penner, turned back at the line. It does trickle out, and Ottawa will counter. Brought back in by McGrath, throwing it out in the slot. Snapshot, fired wide of the net by Rodney Bauman. Bauman scored 16 goals this season. Most of them, if not all, were from closer to the net than what he just showed us. Smith will pick it up, pitching it to his left. Here comes a long shoot in by Moyer. Loved down and held on to by David Curry as we played 2:45 in this opening period. So far, scoreless in the game.
Well, David Curry, he's like you mentioned in the opening, he's played every minute of this playoff series. He's done a terrific job, and the big question was, could he perform in the playoffs? It's his first playoffs that he's been in. The coach Rick Elaine said he was a little jittery the first couple games in the series, but he's settled in and he's performing outstanding.
Backed up by Cody Spicer this afternoon. Spicer will only come on in the event of an emergency. Jury has been the guy all season long. Pete's breaking out at center, Eric Stahl, and he's a beauty. Armstrong centering, Krychek backhander, and that one deflected away by Perov. Krychek will jump into the play just like that, a first-round pick of the Florida Panthers. Back into the corner where it will be played away by number 10, Matthew Albiani. Krychek going back after it, but he's being pursued by Jonah Leroux. Leroux in the corner, bounced up off the boards and up for grabs, and Stahl will play it ahead on the wing. Turned over at the line, now picked up by Armstrong. He centers, but John Zion will deflect it away. And it's back at center ice. Corey Locke will get it from Albiani. Albiani again puts it in front of the net. He was looking for Leroux in front, missed. And Peterborough will counter back, led by number 9, Jamie Chamberlain. Hits the line, long shot right on. The Pete's turning back in a line change, so nobody in looking for that rebound. And it will be Brendan Bell. Return pass from Lille. He'll go the left side this time as Trevisani brings it across the line. Backhander, Kanopka shot right on. Save made by Curry, and the net's been knocked loose.
This Ottawa team's been putting pressure on. They've been putting the attack on the Shepherd line. Now, Kanopka line, we talked about how important it is for them to get going. Again, they're on the ice. John House was on the ice to face them, but they get this scoring opportunity. Kanopka getting into the danger zone, throwing it to the net, and Lille going to the net and creating traffic. Just what they need to do. Lucas Krychek, an outstanding defenseman, jumping up in the play. We'll see a lot of him doing that. He's got a great offensive ability.
You'll see a lot of defensemen, period, doing that this afternoon. Dustin Wood on the Peterborough side. Number 3 will take his opportunities. Brendan Bell, John Zion, not afraid to do it for the Ottawa 67's. And we're going to get an icing call coming up against Ottawa as Brendan Wood will go back and touch up, and we will get a stoppage in play. As we have a look at our top scores, brought to you by CGC, manufacturers of sheetrock drywall products.
Well, we talked about Scott Shepherd already, Jeremy Aitchison. Now Corey Locke is a key. He's a rookie on this team. He's centering the second line, and he's doing a terrific job. He's really stepped up his play. This Peterborough Pete's team, Eric Stahl, is an outstanding prospect. He's going to be a first-round draft pick, not in this year, but 2003 National Hockey League entry draft. We have to keep an eye on him.
Drafted as an underage, but then he had a late birthday to boot, which means he gets 3 years in the OHL before he's draft eligible into the National Hockey League. And I'll tell you, you talk to scouts, John, and they're already drooling about the class of 2003.
Every time I've seen him play, he's impressed me every single game.
High check loose to Chambers. Can he get through there? No. As Chapman will pick it up off the boards, get it back to the line, pulled down by Wood, and he misfires, but he has support in there. Chambers, left side, try check, wrist shot, and that one comes wide of the net. I think he was looking for a redirect from Tardif. Wood's going to be able to move in here. Does, shoots! Great glove grab by J.F. Perra, who gets down in the squat and is able to snap it up in his left hand.
Well, Perra had to come up with a huge save there. You mentioned earlier that we're going to see a lot of defensemen jumping up in the play, and Dustin Wood again, he jumps up through the seam and creates this opportunity. Beats a guy, gets it away. We've got people sliding in front of Perra. But these two goaltenders in this series have come up very big for each team. And Perra's only missed 18 minutes of play when Kilray pulled him earlier in the series.
Shots are 2 aside, and I think the 4 shots on goal are probably down to scoring chances. Here's another one from the circle right on goal, administered by number 16 of the Pete's, Jason Penner. Cole will shoot it down. Aitchison going in after his own rebound, but he'll be denied by Adam Elzinga as the puck comes around on the near side. Out of the corner, Penner moving it ahead for Chambers. Chambers will come across center, sliding it in on the wing. Penner will pick it up, trying to center it, deflected and pulled down. And the 67's unsuccessful in getting it out of the zone. Gagnon on the forecheck, able to keep it in deep. And now Russ Moyer, probably one of the more overlooked defensemen in the OHL because he's always been behind All-Stars. On the back end for Brian Kilray. Armstrong, tip away in the slot, and Moyer didn't get a good shot away. Battle for it in the corner. Ryan Card in there against Aitchison. Puck came loose behind the net. Penner looking to center, he lost it. He'll pick it up again in the near corner. Played back along the boards. Mitsu won't get it, Armstrong will. Brings it slowly through center. That will be a cue for a line change for the Peterborough Pete's. No score in the early going in this opening period. Centering pass, back in the slot, shot! Oh, what a chance for Eric Stahl. Dustin Wood grabs up the rebound. Long wrister right on goal. And gloved by J.F. Perov. So far, it's the goaltenders that are stealing the show with a scoreless tie. Darren Dreger has the early shift on Sports Central, 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. Rogers Sportsnet. And Sports Central prime time, 10 o'clock, all regions across the country tonight. Jamie Campbell and Peter Labardius will bring you all the day's activities. No score here. The Peterborough Petes, Ottawa 67's, and off the face-off in the Ottawa zone, brought out, driven down the ice by Jonah Leroux. Boy, can this guy fly. If he could ever get the offense to go with the skating, that would be the whole package, but he's an in-your-face hockey player, and he is dangerous nonetheless. Off the near boards, high play up to the line, knocked down, kept in by Corey Locke. Racing over for it, Dustin Wood. Out there, he'll be out there 30, 35 minutes in this hockey game, including all specialty team situations. A tireless defenseman for the Peterborough Petes and Equalizing. Down in the far corner, they battle for it, banged up off the boards. And LaRue can't get it out, and Brad Beer is calling his first penalty of the game. It's a cross-check. And so the power play will go to work, and it's going to be for the Peterborough Petes, I believe, or for the Ottawa 67's, I should say. Jamie Chamberlain is the penalized player.
Down in the corner here, it's a physical game. Jamie Chamberlain finishing his check on LaRue. Gives a little bit of a check from behind. I don't think that was a good call that the referee made. I think he's trying to get control of this game early. So Peterborough finds themselves short early in the game. Ottawa needs to start converting on their power play opportunities. They only have 2 power play goals so far in the series.
That's on 26 opportunities, so just 7.7%. And I guess you have to tip your cap to the Peterborough penalty killers.
A really good job.
That all-important first goal on the line if the 67's can capitalize. Back in his own zone, Adam Elzingas, number 23 on the penalty kill. And behind the net, Dustin Wood will likely come off the ice. Gets it up off the boards. Trevisani squeezing in on the wall as they attempt to work it free. It comes back in the corner. Centering pass out in front, and that one's deflected wide of the net. They're back behind again, and Dustin Wood will get this one up off the boards and out to center. Connor Trevisani back in his own zone. Konopkin DeLille over the boards on this power play. DeLille led the league in power play goals and led the OHL in goals period with 55 this season. And for Ottawa, they've gotten away without a big contribution from these guys, but they really need it here. I'm sure for the Peterborough Petes, you're thinking, how long can we hold them down? So far, so good. No score. Ottawa on the power play, and Brendan Bell will lead them out at center with a long shoot-in. Right wing corner, DeLille's side, going in after it. Gets some help from Konopka on the near boards. Backing it up is Zion. It goes to the slot. Sloboda's shot, and that one deflected just wide, and Sloboda goes in after his own rebound. In the far corner, the defenseman in deep. Play is behind the net. Now it comes back to Zion, who will play very low in the offensive zone every chance he gets. Right now, he's getting mugged on the play by Brad Self. Kept in at the line, DeLille. DeLille from the boards, into the slot, Sloboda. It's picked off by Self between the defense. Looking to get a half step. Self cuts to the net, taken down. Penalty is coming up against the Ottawa 67's. Brad Self was able to get that half step, no more, but it does nullify the power play.
That's just terrific second effort by Brad Self. He could have had a penalty called on him earlier in the shift, but then he intercepts a pass across the blue line and gets a scoring opportunity. Just pure hard work. We were talking to the Buffalo Scouts earlier, and they had mentioned how he's been very impressive getting himself involved because he's not a big guy. But right there, he's sacrificing his body, doing whatever he can to get a scoring opportunity. That was all from pure hard work, reading the play nicely. But he just turns it on, tries to chip it by. That's a nifty little smooth move, shorthanded.
Petes go on the power play in about 5 seconds. Ottawa recognizing that will shoot it down the ice, but they did not gain center, and instead it goes for icing. And the Petes with 2 seconds away from a power play. As you look at Ryan Card, who's one of the defensemen who has really stepped up for the Peterborough Petes this season after Curtis Foster, after his rights being traded from Calgary to Atlanta and signed by the Thrashers, got taken mid-season. He's now playing in the American Hockey League with the Chicago Wolves, and guys like Ryan Card are the ones who have picked it up, because I think a lot of people thought Peterborough was in trouble with Foster gone.
Well, if anything, they thought that their defense was a weak spot on this team, but they played very well.
Centering attempt by Stahl off the side of the net. Petes on the power play in the series. Have scored 4 times on 22 chances. Dustin Wood, snapshot right on. There is a rebound. Third back to Wood. Goes down and blocks it with the knee. And another penalty coming up for cross-checking against Ottawa. The Petes are about to get a two-man advantage. Jamie Chamberlain, who ironically took a cross-checking penalty moments ago, gets flattened by Carter Trevisani.
Well, Eric Stahl sets up a nice play, gets it to Dustin Wood. Look at the traffic they have out front of them. They're creating opportunities. Back behind the play, Carter Trevisani gets his stick on Chamberlain. And now Peterborough has an opportunity. This is a key time early in the game. We talked to Rick Elaine about what they're going to do, what they've been doing on the power play. Keep it simple, get it to the point, crash the net for any of their opportunities.
Two-man advantage for 1 minute and 20 seconds for the Peterborough Petes. They'll get control at center, but play was whistled down, or I thought it was. Players acted like it was. Krychek will shoot it in. Chambers getting away from Konopka. Leads it behind the net, picked off by Bell, but he doesn't get it through Wood. He keeps the play alive. Out of the corner, Chambers looking for the pass in front, no lane. Here's Wood. Krychek moves in, fakes. Down low, Chambers tips it into the crease area. And the 67's will rescue that and get it out into the center ice area. Krychek, number 37, drops it back to Wood. He is 3. Brad Self has the puck. He's number 18. Wood gets the feed, deep slot. Fakes, goes to the side of the net. Not enough on the pass. And picked off by Bell, and Bell will get it down the ice.
Now this is exactly what Rick Lane does not want them to do. Dustin Wood has a pure lane to shoot it at the net, and he tries to make a nifty pass off to the side, and it's intercepted. They have to get it to the net, especially with a two-man advantage.
25 seconds left with the two-man advantage. To the side of the net, they get the shot from a tough angle. It's blocked. Self-centers, puck bouncing around, picked up, and then backhanded away. Good defensive play by Ottawa 67's Pierre Mitsu. Ottawa gets a man back in 5 seconds. Chamberlain, slot, shot right on, rebound, knocked away. Back to the near half boards, Armstrong feathers it past Chamberlain, moves in behind the Ottawa net. 67 still down by one man. There's Krychek, puts it into traffic, open net, they score! At the side of the goal, directed in by Matt Armstrong.
Peterborough taking advantage. Matt Armstrong, these players getting in front of the net. We talked about her earlier. They passed up a chance to get the puck to the net. Krychek just takes a nice little wrist shot, and they've got the traffic. Matt Armstrong has an empty net to shoot the puck into, so it's very important. Lucas Krychek doesn't try to have the big wind up, just get the puck to the front of the net. Chamberlain's out front of the net causing traffic. Jamie Tardif, so that leaves an opening for Armstrong to jump on the loose puck, coming from the corner. He made the puck back to the point, chips it in an empty net, and they're up by 1.
Third goal for Armstrong in the playoffs, second on the power play, and the Petes draw first blood in this game at 10 minutes and 50 seconds. There was about 23 seconds left in the power play, so they execute. Mitsu feeds it across. Moyer will bring it on through center, hits the line, it's a long shot, knocked down. And Zinga will sweep away the rebound in the corner. John House takes it behind the net. Ottawa has not had a lot of success getting the puck away from John House in this series. He has been very hard on it. There's a shot by Herneisen wide. House trying to center. Herneisen is there. He can't sweep it through. We have a downed Peterborough Pete player. It looks like Patterson rolling. He's just getting up now, but in some obvious difficulty. The Ottawa net's been knocked loose, and it looks like the physical aspect of this hockey game is picking up. So Patterson will get some attention, but obviously he needs it right now. He's in some pain. Pete's leading this contest by a score of 1-0. Game 6, the OHL playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
Well, the Peterborough Pete's Josh Patterson has just been taken to the dressing room. Adam Smith comes across the top of your screen and takes Patterson out after he drops the puck. He gets down nice and low. Looks like he's taken out his knee. You can see Patterson reaches for his knee. That would be a big loss for this Pete's team. He's part of the big checking line of John House and Matt Herneisen, who's been shutting down Lille and Konopka in this series.
You don't see open ice hits quite like that very much anymore.
Well, that one there looked to me like it was a dirty hit. There's no way he should have been taking out a guy down low when his head was turned away that way. But Josh Patterson puts himself in a tough predicament there when he drops the pass and he's looking behind him and he's not keeping his head up.
No penalties on the play. Off the face-off, the Petes will control it. They lead the game 1-0. Traffic right in front of the penalty box, chopped in and knocked down by Russ Moyer. North Bay native to his right, Pierre Mitsu will bring it out. And Tilray will use all 6 defensemen regularly. In across the line, Chamberlain. It's one on goal, knocked away by Peroff. Rebound will be gathered up and brought out by Russ Moyer. From the left wing, attempting to get away from a check, but he had his pocket picked. Cleared out at center ice. Chamberlain can't get there in time. Mitsu does. And now we get a little rough stuff just in front of the Ottawa bench. It was fairly minor, but I think we're going to get a penalty here against the Ottawa 67's, and it might be on the line change. Either that or he got Pierre Mitsu for something.
Well, Pierre Mitsu, the hero in Friday night's game, he scored the overtime game winner. He's going to the box.
Ottawa was on a line change at that point, so let's see if we can count an extra body out there. It is Mitsu that's going off, and you'll see the change there. That's
right. He just came on the ice too soon. You can see him trying to sneak back off the ice. There's too many men on the ice.
So Ottawa nabbed for the extra man, and the Petes 1 for 2 on the power play. They've had 3 shots, and of course 1 goal thus far. The only goal in this hockey game. Peterborough will get organized deep in their own zone. Dustin Wood up the middle to Brad Self. Cutting around Konopka. There is Self bringing it to the line and over. Self will float it across in the slot. Chambers couldn't come up with it cleanly. Now turned over as Konopka breaks back, and the penalty kill up front will be Miguel DeLille. At the line, Krajcek knocked it away. DeLille is there. A hard drive off the glass. Back in the corner. Peterborough on the power play, but right now deep in their own zone. Wood starting away for the Petes. Slowly. Right wing feed. Chambers will shoot it in. It came off the corner boards, and John Druce is a former Pete. You've seen that many times where it hits the corner and bounces right out in front of the net.
Well, this is a home ice advantage here in Peterborough. The boards here are a lot squarer than most rinks, so it does take funny bounces, so the visiting teams have a hard time of reading it, so that is quite an advantage. I know when I played here, I loved it, having that advantage a lot, and knowing how the puck was going to react myself.
Yeah, you guys practiced it, did you not?
That's right. We used to practice rimming the puck around, dumping it in, seeing how it's going to bounce off, and it is a real advantage.
Petes have 3 men in deep, nobody in front of the net. Armstrong moves in there now. He scored on the power play earlier. It's back to the line, and Wood lost it. Albiani, second effort, puck is up on end, and his third chance is a charm. He'll slap it down the ice. 23 seconds left in the power play for the Peterborough Petes. They have yet to muster a good scoring chance. Krajcek slides by Chapman, crosses center, flicks it down in the left wing corner. Stahl going in after it, bumped to the ice by Bell. Now they'll continue to battle for it along the near boards. As an Ottawa player, Chapman gets tripped up behind. I believe it might have been Chamberlain who got a piece of him, and there's going to be a penalty against the Petes for tripping.
Well, you don't want to be taking penalties when you have a power play, especially when you got the puck in the offensive zone and you're going to get something created. But Chamberlain here, he's battling. He's a feisty player, and he always works hard, tries to take advantage any way he can. He gets knocked down and then in turn dumps down Chapman on the play. It's kind of a domino effect. There's been a couple calls here that I've seen that have been a little iffy.
Just a few seconds left in the penalty to Ottawa for too many men on the ice, so they're about to go in their second power play. 0 for 1. Ryan Card will shoot it in deep, and Pierre Mitsu, or actually make that number 5, Russ Moyer behind his net. Now starting out slowly with the right wing feed. John Zine will quarterback the power play. Scully breaks in. He's got a shooting lane, and he took the shot right on goal, and it was stopped by Curie. Behind the net, battle for it, cycled off, and taken now. Over on the other side, just moving over for that is Shepard. Knocks it in behind the net. Back to the line. Ryan will feed it to the far circle. Shepard shot right on. Saved by Curie. He's dove out, and he's got it. That puck started to get away from him. It looked like a fairly routine shot, but had it gotten about another inch beyond that glove, Curie could have been in trouble.
Well, Ottawa doing a good job moving the puck around, but Russ Moyer is one of the guys that has also stepped up from the blue line. They have other players like Jonathan Zion there stepped in, Brendan Bell, but Russ Moyer is a guy that's been unexpected. He's been a 6th or a 7th defenseman most of the season, but he's probably been their most consistent performer on the defense.
1:20 remaining in the penalty to the Peterborough Petes. Jamie Chamberlain centered. Shot right on. Chapman was denied. Then centered for Albiani. He can't get his stick on it. Sign whips it into the slot. Moyer will take a shot for the deflection at the side of the net, and it was tipped right through the crease by Corey Locke. Albiani feeding it in the corner. It's picked off, turned over by Wood. Albiani's coming in there, trying to go over the shoulder of Curry, and he missed.
Matt Albiani getting a nice chance on Curry. Now we're talking about this Ottawa power play, how it hasn't been producing very well. Albiani's on the second power play unit, and Brian Kilray mentioned to me when we did have the conversation earlier that the second unit is performing better because they're moving the puck around. The first unit with DeLille and Konopka seem to be working it too much around between themselves, so they're not getting as good as scoring opportunities using all the men on the ice.
It's winning the face-off in their own zone. Brad Self will shoot it down the ice. He's going to give chase. Perrault is out of the net, onto the forehand, bouncing it up off the skate of Stahl. Stahl walks it down in the corner. Stahl will cut back to the slot, shoot one! Knocked down by Perrault. Couldn't cover the rebound, but the 67's will come up with it. Albiani in over the line on the right wing side, centering in front. Corey Locke scores! He wasted no time getting that wrister away, and it's a 1-1 tie.
Well, it always happens this way. A nice scoring opportunity down at the other end of the ice by Eric Stahl. It's a terrific individual effort. He walks out as the Ottawa players are being pulled to the net by someone driving in the net. Now it goes down the other way. Moyer making a pass to the far side, but Locke gets it away so quick and puts it over the shoulder of David Curry. And this is what Kilray was talking about, how this guy is playing like a veteran. Corey Locke, the rookie this year, and he keeps his team into the game. It's a 1-1 game now, keeping it close.
Fourth goal of the playoffs for Corey Locke. It comes on the power play. Just Ottawa's third extra man advantage goal of the postseason. 15:31 is the time of the game time goal as Armstrong will step offside. 4:18 remaining in period number one. The Petes and 67's tied 1-1. CHL hockey on Rogers Sportsnet. Welcome back to Peterborough. Promotional considerations provided by Bauer, supplying equipment and uniforms to the Canadian Hockey League and its 55 member clubs. Bauer invites you to experience the power of Bauer. Jack Miller, John Druce, 1-1, Ottawa, Peterborough. CHL playoffs on across the country, some series over. And in this particular conference, the Eastern Conference, Barrie Colts, Belleville Bulls, Toronto St. Mike's Majors have all advanced, so this is the last series left in the East. Over the line with a drop pass, Shepard fights off a check, can't get a shot away. Tipped ahead by Self onto the left wing for Tardif. This exciting youngster will try and center, broken up by Shepard. It's back at center, and Ryan Card will feed it to his right. And Dustin Wood will play it ahead. It comes right back through the neutral zone, and Ryan Card, native of Bancroft, Ontario. For Algonquin Park, it's about through center. It's going to go for icing. In behind the Ottawa net, Brendan Bell will touch up. We have 3:40 remaining in period number one.
Brendan Bell is another key guy for this Ottawa team. He has the experience of winning the championship last year. Down at the other end of the ice, he played against top players like Lucas Krajcek. Krajcek doing a very good job. Brendan Bell maybe not playing as well as he could be, but we mentioned it again. All these other young guys are stepping up and performing well.
Ottawa winning the face-off. The shot by Sloboda at the right point, got through, deflected in the corner. A little for Konopka. These two have played together for years. Centering pass out in front. Jonah Leroux took a slam at it. Deflected to the boards. Leroux back to the line. Sloboda looking for the deflection in front. Lille can't get his stick unlocked. Puck came loose back to the blue line and was just tipped away by Penner. And Leroux has it again for Ottawa, turning it over. Pete's getting it ahead at the line. Penner onto the wing for John House. Penner now taking that spot on this checking line after Patterson got taken out with a hip check earlier by Smith. So that is the move made by Rick Elaine to try and keep that checking line together. Krajcek wheeling his way up to the line. Has a little bit of room now after he put on the brakes. Did not cross center, but he gets it down on goal. Now there was no pressure there for J.F. Perrault, but it looks like he is struggling a little bit with his rebounds. Played back through center ice, comes back in across the line. Wood right up the middle. This one will go for icing. Sloboda will go back and we'll get a face-off in the Pete zone. Now Lucas Krajcek is today's top prospect, brought to you by MasterCard, the official card and payment system of the Canadian Hockey League. And why not? He's already been drafted. John Druce, first round, Florida. Well,
we mentioned that he plays like Brian Campbell, loves to jump up in the play. We've already seen it here early in the game, had a nice scoring opportunity. from the Czech Republic, had a very slow start to the season, but he has so much skill and so much talent. He's rebounded and been their top defenseman down the stretch.
And I think a lot of that slow start was attributed to that period of time it takes a junior player to adjust from a National Hockey League training camp coming back into junior. Sometimes the body gets here long before the mind.
Exactly, I agree with that.
Armstrong will get it in across the line, and it's swept away quickly, and Dustin Wood playing on the other side of the ice. Normally you'll find him on the right. Albiani into the neutral zone. Stahl picks it out of a crowd, gets in across the line with Armstrong. Drop pass Chamberlain. Check. There's Wood taking the one-timer. Turns and shoots it wide of the net. And a penalty is coming up against the Ottawa 67's. I believe Moyer will be going off. So a power play coming up when we return.
Russ Moyer going in the penalty box. Peterborough getting guys out front. He gets his stick stuck in between the Peterborough Police player, and he falls down. Russ not happy with the call. I had mentioned there's been a few soft calls. You got to let these guys play. Let them battle through these tough areas and really focus on earning their goals and earning their win.
Pete's fourth power play. Their goal has come off a man advantage. And they're in the attacking zone. Tardif behind the net, backhands a pass over on the other side. Self back to the deep slot, mishandled by Wood, and now a race for it. Wood there just ahead of Miguel DeLille. It picks off Krychek back inside the Pete's end. Dustin Wood is gone. And Self along with Chambers up front. And the power play for the Peterborough Petes will be number 25, Jamie Tardif. He'll go after the puck on the near boards and then slap it in behind the net. Centering attempt denied. Self goes after it. Back past Chambers in the corner. Chambers will work the half boards if Ottawa allows him to, and if they do, they could pay a price because he's got a wicked shot. Driven down the ice. 40 seconds left in the period, so the period would end before the penalty if the Petes don't score. 1-1 score. Good tight hockey game as you would expect. Krychek really likes to make those extra moves. Looking for Eric Stahl at center, but the puck is out of play.
We talked about making the extra moves. Albiani stepping up on the play, not giving any room coming through the neutral zone. They're give and they take away as the players come through the neutral zone, and right there was a nice play. Steps up, doesn't give Stahl any time to control the pass.
Face off in neutral ice. Eric Stahl is in there for the Peterborough Petes against Corey Locke. Ottawa controlling it, getting it down the ice. Krychek goes in behind his net. He'll be pursued by Jeremy Akerson. Krychek beats it behind the goal, and now the Petes will try and get a rush going with 13 seconds left. Ahead to Armstrong to the line on the right wing, along with Chamberlain and Stahl trailing on the play. No pass out. Coming in off the point. It will be played in deep by Chambers. Just a few seconds left in the period. Stahl will not have time to do anything with it. And the period will come to an end. And the power play will finish off the 9 seconds it has on it in the second period. So pretty much as we expected after one period of play, the Peterborough Petes and the Ottawa 67's both count on the power play. They were deadlocked at one.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to the Sportsnet studios. I'm Darren Dreger. We'll get you back to Peterborough in just a moment. So much for good planning. The Toronto Maple Leafs acquired veteran goaltender Tom Barrasso earlier this month for insurance. If Corey Schwab couldn't shoulder the load, or if Curtis Joseph needed more time to mend, then who better to take some of the heat off than a two-time Stanley Cup champ? In theory, a deal that had to be made with Carolina, but this is just simply bad luck. Tom Barrasso's rescue mission came to a screeching halt in the second period of last night's game against the New Jersey Devils. The netminder suffering a serious hamstring injury as he attempted to squeeze the puck between his legs on Jersey's second goal. Barrasso will have an MRI tomorrow.
Show up for treatment tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. I don't have any answers for time frame or anything at this point. It's far too early to tell, and see what the doctors have to say as the next day or so goes by.
To replace Tom Barrasso, the Toronto Maple Leafs have called up goaltender Mikhail Tellqvist. They also called up defenseman Anders Eriksson to replace Jyrki Lumme, who has a sprained shoulder and could be out as many as 10 days. In addition, right winger Jeff Farkas has been reassigned to Toronto's American League affiliate. Of the six, the Maple Leafs were the only Canadian team to lose last night. Ottawa did its part in the fight for fourth with a 3-1 win over the Tampa Bay Lightning. Well, Montreal is making life very difficult for Washington after an overtime decision over Pittsburgh. The Canadians will wrap up a home-and-home with the Pens tomorrow with added motivation. Saku Koivu is making this trip.
I can skate with the team, get back, get back in the game situations, do some one-on-ones, 2-on-2s, and start feeling the intensity on the ice there. So, and at the same time, just get used to traveling again, being in the plane, the hotels, and if I want to make the comeback before the end of the year, this upcoming week here is going to be really, really important for me. And that's why I like to play the last 2-3 games in the regular season, so then I'll know going into the playoffs if I'm going to be ready or not.
I think it's great to have him with us and have him on the road and on the ice in practice. So it's going to be fun. It was great to have those two guys in the lineup for us last night, and again to have Sack with us on the road.
Have to play with the cast. I mean, that's the only way you can play. But it didn't feel too bad. It's not 100%, but like I said, it's just really good to be out there with the guys, and this time of year is so fun to be a part of it. I mean, it's great.
Auto racing in Sao Paulo today. Michael Schumacher held off his brother Ralph to win the Brazilian Grand Prix, his 54th career win. Juan Pablo Montoya, who was 20th at one point, came back to finish 5th. Jacques Villeneuve was 10th, as you see. Full of those highlights coming up at 6, as well as the Raptors and Philadelphia. That one's just underway. And the final round of the LPGA's first major. Look forward to that on the early edition.
Where they started, brought to you by Ackland's Granger, Canada's largest distributor of industrial fleet and safety supplies. Ryan Smith, Edmonton Oilers. Grant Marshall, Columbus Blue Jackets, and Danny Gauthier, Calgary Flames. You know where they played their junior careers? We'll tell you during our second intermission. Ryan, or actually Eric Stahl here with us now, and I know that this is a game that you guys face elimination, and got to think that Eric, if you had any butterflies in that first period, it didn't look it.
Yeah, we came out strong. We knew we had to start a good 10 minutes, a good first 10 minutes, and came out hard. We know what we got to do against this team, and we're just going to keep battling through it.
Are you doing anything different than you did in the earlier games in this series?
Not too much. We're just trying to lay the body on them, try to be physical on their defensemen, and we're just trying to play hard, get some shots on their goalie because he's playing pretty well lately, and just get some traffic in front of them.
You got that first early power play goal, but since then Ottawa has tied it up. Does it matter much at this stage in the game who gets that first goal?
Oh, the next goal is going to be a big goal for sure. We're just going to have to keep doing the same things that we're doing. We're getting some chances, and we're just going to have to keep going.
Judging by the fact that you have 8 points already in the playoffs, I'm going to assume the hand isn't bothering you that much, but it knocked you out of the lineup for about a month. How is it?
Oh, it's doing a lot better. I feel a lot stronger now. I still got a little thing on it, but I'm feeling a lot better out there. My legs are back, and I'm doing pretty good.
Playing well, your team is playing well, and of course 40 minutes or more before this game is out. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
There's Eric Stahl, 8 points so far in the playoffs. And there's Armstrong, who gave the Petes the 1-0 lead on the power play. Since then, Ottawa has tied it up. And we'll be back with more from Peterborough in just a moment.
Toyota CHL Extra, brought to you by Toyota Canada and its dealers.
We start in the Western Conference of the Ontario Hockey League in the quarterfinals in a series that most thought would go 6 or 7 games, 4 in a row for Guelph as they want to make a statement as they get ready to host the Memorial Cup. Elsewhere, the Erie Otters doing as expected, taking out the Sarnia Sting in 5 games, including their 7-4 victory on Friday night. Yesterday, the Sioux Greyhounds stay alive in their series with the Windsor Spitfires. 40 saves by Ray Emery, and the Greyhounds with a 4-0 victory, but the Spitfires still leading the series 3-2. Game 6 today in Windsor. Elsewhere, the Plymouth Whalers staying alive against the surprising London Knights. Whalers with a 4-2 home ice victory yesterday, but the series moves back to London for Game 6, potentially a decider today. Toronto with a straight 4-game series win over the North Bay Centennials. No surprises there. Toronto getting ready to meet the winner of the series you're watching today, Peterborough and Ottawa. Barrie Colts finish off the pesky Sudbury Wolves in 5 games last night with a close 4-3 victory. Elsewhere in the Eastern Conference, Belleville finishes off the Oshawa Generals 3-2 last night. That is well a 5-game series. That means it's a Belleville-Barrie second rounder. And don't forget, Memorial Cup coverage begins right here on May the 18th, live on Rogers Sportsnet. 1-1 score here, Ottawa. Peterborough, some great action, and watch for those defensemen jumping in on the play, making life a little more difficult for the goaltenders.
Rogers Sportsnet CHL Hockey. Brought to you by Canadian Tire. And by Dodge. Grab life by the horns.
Welcome back to Peterborough. One period of play in the books. Our first period stats brought to you by Aruba. A memory forever. And both teams counting on the power play. Matt Armstrong from Lucas Krychek and Jamie Tardif at 10 minutes and 50 seconds. And then about 5.5 minutes later, Corey Locke with his fourth from Matthew Albiani and Jamie Moyer, Russ Moyer, pardon me. And it's all tied at 1. Teams come to center ice for the start of this second period. I think we saw a lot of that close checking game that we had expected, but nonetheless in the early going, the goaltending was particularly important. We see teams do pull back depending on how the score goes. From the Peterborough perspective, they can't afford to fall behind in this game. Power play about to expire. And that was the late power play holding the stick call against Russ Moyer. So that's now over. Teams are back to even strength. Centering pass by Chamberlain. Broken up, and now the 67's break out. And center ice. Locke pushing it up off the left wing boards. Armstrong taking down number 12, Jonah LaRue. Locke off the wall, and boy, does he get that one away with authority.
Well, Ottawa coming out, they're really trying to create something, get the puck deep, but LaRue, this is a guy they picked up from Brampton. He has terrific speed, and he flies down the wing, creating opportunities. He was playing on the first line with Konopka and Lille, but has since then been moved to the second line and trying to get things stirred up to get that second line going, and he's doing a really good job.
Pete's power play now expired. They are 1 for 4. They had 5 shots on goal. Ottawa wins the face-off. DeLille curls off the boards, playing it to the line. There's a hard drive by Carter Trevisani, but it missed the mark. Over on the other side, it's slapped ahead by Elzinga. And center John House gets the feed. He hits the line and uncorks one up into the screen in behind J.F. Perron.
John House, part of this checking trio that's been playing against Konopka and DeLille, gets a shot on net. They don't have a lot of offense. They don't create a lot of offense. When you're out checking guys, you're more concentrated on have a tight checking game, play responsibly in the defensive zone. And with Josh Patterson out of the lineup, getting knocked out in the first period, taking that hit from Adam Smith, Jason Penner has had to fill in on the left side.
And he fits nicely into the mold of that line, because Jason Penner is noted as a defensive player. From the Sarnia sting earlier this season and getting lots of ice here in Peterborough. So a trade that's worked out very well for him. Turnover out in front. John House on it, but a whistle goes as we have it down 67, and a hooking penalty is coming up against Peterborough.
Well, we just mentioned Jason Penner getting in on these guys quick. Now, he hasn't played a lot in this series, so when he gets the opportunity, he's probably a little anxious, getting a little bit too aggressive there, getting the stick up high on Moyer and taking a penalty. He's got to be responsible if he's going to be put in a role to play a solid defensive checking game.
And especially in a game, Brad Beer is obviously going to call everything. He's called quite a few penalties in the first period. He wants to keep control of the game. So you've got to watch it a little bit closer. Sometimes an official will let a few things go depending on the flow of the game.
And he hasn't really let much go in this game. He's really tried to keep a tight handle on everything, and he's called every little thing. I think 3 of the calls already, in my mind, have been very weak calls. I want to see these two teams play. Let them earn it. Let them earn the win.
Long shoot in from center. So Penner is off for hooking. Ottawa 1 for 2 with the power play, and here they come. Miguel DeLille threw it back. Moyer has to chase it down. House on the forecheck. Dribbled up off the boards at center. Self gets a piece of it. Off LaRue. Taken by House. House will drop it back to his defenseman Elzinga. And he'll just kill off some time. Pass across to Krychek. Right back to Elzinga. They're working the clock very effectively. Finally, Konopka moves in on the forecheck and will be driven down the ice by Lucas Krychek. 1 minute to go in this power play chance for the Ottawa 67's. Looking to take the lead in the game. Hard drive by Russ Moyer, and that just ate up goaltender David Curie.
Well, this Peterborough team doing a very good job. They have control of the puck. They were ragging the puck a little bit in their own zone. They get it down the ice. But Russ Moyer, we mentioned in the first period, this guy has really stepped up his game. He has a fantastic shot. He's not known as an offensive type of player, but he's really getting the shot away quick, showing a lot of confidence. because Kilray needs this 6 and 7 defensive pairing to step up with the guys like Bell and Zion not producing the way they are known to.
Back to the line. There's Bell. Shot right on. Curie the save. There's a loose puck there, and it's slapped away at the last moment by Krychek. Bell at the left point, working it in around the boards. Corey Locke, who has a goal on the power play, turns back to the net. He likes to go up over the shoulder from what we've been able to tell. Doesn't miss by much. Albiani puts it out in front. There's a rebound. Herneisen can't clear. Sloboda playing in tight. Keeps it in the zone as he moves back to the line. Corey Locke back boards. Deflected by Wood. Albiani put it off the wall. And it will come back to the far boards. Wood goes back for it. And Locke ties him up. Wood tries to keep his skate within range of the puck. Does a nice job doing it and gets it down the ice.
Ottawa doing a terrific job keeping the puck in the zone. Dustin Wood had a couple opportunities to get it out of that zone and couldn't do it. And that makes it hard on this defensive core for Peterborough because there's three guys, Elzinga, Krychek, and Wood, who play a lot.
And you can tell Ottawa's strategy is to go down and work those guys on the forecheck. Chamberlain, drop pass, power play over. Ottawa 1 for 3, and we're still tied 1-1. In the slot, Henner slapping away at it, gets his stick tied up by Brendan Bell. Peters behind the net over on the other side. It's going to be slapped up off the boards by Shepard, but not out, kept in by Penner. Down low for Chamberlain. In the corner, cycled off the wall. Armstrong tries to cut back. He too is being pressured to the outside, and he stays with it. Now the puck is turned over, played back to the line and out at center. This will regroup. Ryan Card sends that one right down on goal. Perra will hand that one off as the Pete's will change up. Good pass through center. And for it will be number 5, and that is Mark Flood. A Charlottetown native. Boy, has he stepped up since Curtis Foster left. One of those guys who got a lot more ice time than he had before Foster had gone to the pros. And Pete's look at him. They look at Trevor Hendricks, his two young defensemen that are going to come in and play regularly as numbers 5 and 6, as that one is tipped up out of play. Pontiac Championship game coming up tomorrow. NCAA, would you like to put a quarter on this one? Indiana and Maryland. That is going to be a beauty. 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 o'clock Pacific on Rogers Sportsnet. Rick Elaine and his team 1-1 with Ottawa.
Well, I was talking to Zenon Konopka before the game started, and he said, the one thing he said is this Peterborough team is very well coached, and is a compliment to Rick Elaine, saying that everybody's playing, they've all bought into the system for this Peterborough Pete's team, and made it very hard on the 67's to take this series easily.
Brian Ham has just been ushered over to the penalty box. Something happened before they dropped the puck. Jamie Chamberlain is over asking Brad Beer for an explanation. And Ham, who has probably not seen the ice until a moment ago, rather perplexed about the call.
Well, the youngster Ham, he's a young rookie in this league. He's been hurt most of the season. He's a huge presence on the ice, and I think Rick Elaine wants to get him out there, get a little bit of physical presence out there, but for some reason, he's been sent to the penalty box, and Rick Elaine's not going to get the matchup that he wanted.
Hooking was the call on Brian Ham. So Ottawa goes back to the power play for their 4th time in the game. And they take the face off inside the Peterborough zone. Down low into the left wing corner goes Jonah LaRue. Product of Williamstown behind the net. Locke bounced over his stick. Krychek on it. Krychek gets it up off the boards. Down the ice goes Matthew Albiani.
Again, Ottawa, I've talked to Brian Kilray about this. I've seen him do it a few times during the season. He's starting his 2nd power play unit against the top defensive pairing in Elzinga and Krychek. Wood's not on the ice, but offense can be created by getting that 2nd unit on against the weaker defensive players for the Pete's team.
And with the puck chopped out of play, that will give both teams a chance to change them up if that's the way they desire. And right now, Rick Elaine waiting to see who hits the ice. And it will be Shepard coming out, and he'll be taking this face off. Jeremy Aitchison on his left. Number 18, Sean Scully playing on his right. And I think this is one of the few times since Sean Scully has come into the league that he hasn't been paired with Brett McGrath. Usually you would see 18 and 19 together. There might be different wingers. Often it's Rodney Bauman, but usually 18 and 19 have been a staple out there for Brian Kilray, much the same as 20 and 23. Shepard denied. He's pinned to the ice. The puck is still loose in a scrum and bounces just wide of the net. Adam Elzinga will go over and pick it up for the Pete's and then just dump it back through center ice. Robert Trevisani will go back to get this one, but he's being pressured by John House. assistance comes in. Karol Sloboda. Now it's fed ahead. Coming through center is Scully. Big winger gets across the line, but held up just enough to put the play offside.
Scully jumping up the ice real quick, but Brad Self did a nice job breaking the play up. Brad Self is a Peterborough boy. He's just not a big presence on the ice. We talked about that earlier, but he's very, very talented offensively. He's been putting penalty kill situations, power play situations, and he's a lacrosse player. One of the reasons he has such good visions on the ice is because he's used to playing in tight situations. Being a lacrosse player, handles the puck very well in tight.
Brad Self played a lot this season with Eric Stahl as his centerman, but things get changed up as the year goes along. Knocka down the left wing side for Ottawa. Centering. Chapman took the pass. Couldn't get the deflection. Back to the blue line. Sloboda. Down into the corner. Chapman a drive, and that one whistled off. Curry, I believe, he got a piece of it. The near boards. Ottawa keeping the pressure up. Chop back to the line. And back to center will go Karol Sloboda. 18 seconds left in the Ottawa power play. That's too far for Chapman. Ready to throw down the ice, and icing is called against Ottawa.
Well, Peterborough doing a very good job of getting out to the points. They've got guys like Chapman going to the net. Dustin Wood takes care of everybody in the slot. But the forwards on this penalty killing unit for the Peterborough team has not allowed many shots through from the point. And this has been one of the reasons why the power play for the 67's has not been as effective as they can be.
Face-off will be to the left of J.F. Perra. Shots on goal are 16-14 Peterborough to this point in the game. 28 saves between the goaltenders. They will snuggle it up against the boards in the corner. More traffic in there. You can hear the referee Brad Dreger yelling for them to break. It comes loose back to Elzinga. Across the line, Ryan Card shoots one right out in front, and a big rebound. Benner couldn't get a stick on lock, goes back to the net. And the loose puck is gathered up by Ottawa and cleared ahead. And center ice, Rodney Bauman can't get through Elzinga. The puck taken by Cart. Clear around on the far side. Peets will just get it out. Adam Smith will pick it up and drop it behind his line. Yaramitsu gets it out through center, but across two lines off the skate of Bauman. And we have 13-17 remaining in period number 2. It's the Peets and the 67's giving us a beauty here this afternoon, live from Peterborough. It is time to play ball. Toronto Blue Jays, Boston Red Sox, Fenway Park tomorrow. Our first telecast on Rogers Sportsnet. 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock Pacific. We have a great lineup of Blue Jays baseball for you this year on Sportsnet. Here's a shot off the face-off, handled by J.F. Perra.
Again, Krychek jumping up on the play right off the face-off. It's funny, I watched Krychek play a lot this season, and he seemed very patient to sit back. But today's game, he's jumping up and creating a lot of offensive opportunities for himself.
There's another drive off the draw, and that one unloaded with some mustard. Positionally, Perra's right where he wants to be. You can tell he doesn't have to budge.
Perra's made some key saves. There was a flurry in the last play before the break where he didn't even see the puck come and made the save, but he's always in good position. He's very square to the shooter. So he's right on top of everything. He's not allowing a lot of goals against. You can tell he's very focused. His mind's in the game.
Peterborough doing a nice job getting those chances right off the draw. This time Ottawa able to work it into the corner, and Penner is up with the puck. Back to the blue line, Dustin Wood. Back to Penner. Works it off the boards into traffic. He drills it, but it doesn't get through. Back to the line again. Wood will try the screen shot out in front. Herneisen took a swat at it and panned. And cleared back to center ice. Dustin Wood. Shot on the arm by Chapman. Clear out. That doesn't work. Ottawa keeping it in the zone, but the shot by Konopka, it's deflected in front of the net. Wood to the boards, now forced off it. Turnover. Nice work by John House. He gets the puck back in the possession of the Peets. Herneisen will go one-on-one with Moyer, but he seemed to lose steam as he hit the line. May not have had control of the puck. That took something out of that one-on-one. And now a penalty has been called for slashing against the Ottawa 67's. Sloboda will go off.
Well, one of the defensive defensemen for this team, Karol Sloboda, Brian Kilroy really likes his presence on the ice in defensive situations, but unfortunately he's not going to be out there for this kill because he's going to be in the box. Takes out the man, and he's called for a slash, but there's no call. This is what I'm talking about. I think the referee's got to be a little more observant and let the guys play. There was no clear-cut call there. And the referee is dictating the way this game is going by calling so many penalties. And I said it earlier, these teams need to dictate how this game is going to finish out on their own.
This is the 9th power play of the game. We're not even halfway through. 5 to the Pete's, they've scored 1. Armstrong down the right wing side. Eric Stahl is on the ice. They list Eric Stahl at 6'1", John, but based on that interview I did with him during the intermission, he's about 7'1".
I'm sure he's 6'3". He's got to be at least 6'3".
Swatted down the ice, Ottawa, the penalty kill. Krychek and Elzinga will be the back net on this Peterborough power play. Eric Stahl will come back in case they go that way. Chamberlain hanging out at the Ottawa blue line. Puck comes up at center ice, brought ahead by Armstrong. He has the Pete's goal. Dropping it back, but not clearly, and it's turned over and driven down the ice. 67's change up in the penalty kill with Konopka and DeLille coming out. John Zion works with Carter Trevisani. And the Pete's will try it again. 1 minute to go in this power play. Peterborough can't get out of their zone. Brad Zelf just dropped it behind the net. Didn't tell anybody or indicate nobody was paying attention. Krychek off the skate of Chambers, knocked it offside by Tardif.
Well, Peterborough's having a very tough time getting out of their own zone, and Rick and Lane, the first power play unit, when they turned the puck over after they got inside the zone, was not happy. He got up on the bench and was waving to the players to get off the ice. They wanted to get that power play unit off and get some fresh guys out there. So you can tell there's a lot of intensity going on behind these two benches.
And the teams have played a lot. They played Thursday night here, Friday night in Ottawa, and right back again this afternoon. Could end up taking a toll before this one's out. Wood airmails it in. Right wing corner, Herneisen playing hard. Trevisani and Herneisen cancel each other out. John House steps into the corner against John Zion. Playing off the boards, he's got good feet. Somebody lost a stick. It is the Ottawa defenseman Zion. Peterborough would like to take advantage. Out of the corner, off House to let it go to the point. Wood fakes the shot. Pumped twice, dealt off from the left wing corner. Centered. Whoa, cut off right at the side of the crease by Kara. They were down to 10 seconds on the Karol Sloboda penalty.
Well, Lucas Krychek, again, creating opportunities. They're moving the puck well around the outside. It took him a long time to get into that offensive zone and get things set up. But Perra has been very solid. He doesn't seem to get frazzled at all when there's traffic around him. He's making the saves when it counts.
He has stayed very square. He hasn't flopped around, but J.F. Perra doesn't anyway. I mean, that's not the style of goaltender he is. Ottawa wins the face-off, and there's a 180-footer down the ice. And the 67's back to full strength. Peterborough 1 for 5 with a man advantage. Penner tries to drive his way through Moyer down in the left wing corner and does so successfully. Herneisen whips it back to the point. It's by Carden down the ice. And in is Jeremy Aitchison. What a great playoff he is having. What an outstanding pickup for Brian Kilray this season. He gets to play at home. He's a native of Ottawa. Miller loves to get those Valley kids. And they love to play for the hometown team. Off the boards. There's the shot off the wall taken by number 18, Sean Scully. Back to the line, Moyer floats one down. And that's the first work for David Curie in the last little while. And he will hold on.
You know, I'm amazed here at this Ottawa team. We were talking to Kilray before the game, and Russ Moyer and his partner Pierre Mitsu are getting the 6 and 7 defense, and they're getting a lot of ice time.
9 minutes, 48 seconds left in the second period. We're still sitting at a goal apiece. Promotional considerations provided by Bauer, supplying equipment and uniforms to the Canadian Hockey League and its 55 member clubs. Bauer invites you to experience the power of Bauer. Jack Miller, John Druce, 9:48 remaining. Second period. Matt Armstrong for the Pete's. Corey locked for Ottawa. Both goals coming on the power play in the first period. And off the draw, Elzinga behind his net. Team's at full strength. Pete's try and get it off the boards and out, but it doesn't work. Kept in by McGrath at the left point. Down low for Bauman. Rodney Bauman, that's his office. He puts it out front off Smith and in the net. Ottawa takes a 2-1 lead. And talking about the crash and bash types, those guys personify that kind of play. The garbage goals are theirs, and Ottawa has the lead.
Well, Adam Smith is very excited. This fourth line of Brett McGrath, Rodney Bauman, and Adam Smith working it deep in the offensive zone. But the traffic out front, Smith is getting knocked down to the ice. Jimmy Gagnon knocks him down to the ice, but he just gets a stick on it. But it was a nice play from behind the net. Bauman just getting it out front to see Smith standing there. This fourth line, these guys don't play a lot, but when they get out there, they're creating opportunities. The Peterborough guys are in the right position. but they just don't take away the passing lane.
If you had told me that 6 games into the playoffs, Adam Smith would have 1 more goal than Miguel de Lille, I would have told you were nuts. But that's his second. And that's why the Ottawa 67's have been able to overcome the lack of scoring from their midline, because other guys have picked it up. Rodney Bauman with the feed behind the net. I mentioned that is his office, right down there. That's where he scored the majority of his 16 goals this season. Just in front of the net. That time he makes the play behind, and the Pete's now down for the first time in the hockey game. Hockey is deflected up in the air by LaRue. It stays in the zone. Chamberlain off Stahl in front. Into the corner. Battling in after it. Armstrong. Stahl gets the feed. Now it's projected behind the net. Chamberlain is there. Looks for a man in front. Nobody there. They'll have to work it out of the corner. Chamberlain again behind the Ottawa goal. Chamberlain being pursued by Locke. And off the stick of Stahl. Armstrong looking for the return feed. It bounces back to Chamberlain in the corner. Wood comes in off the line. Dustin Wood behind the net still had it. Broke off his stick from behind by Sloboda. He'll pick it up in the corner and then spin away from the coverage. Wood behind the net. Stahl pulls out in front to the forehand off balance. And he put that one wide of the net. Wood off the wall. Tough angle deflected. There's Stahl on a bouncing puck, and he slammed it up into the screen.
Oh, Eric Stahl not happy. Their line, Eric Stahl, Chamberlain, Armstrong, they are putting so much pressure on this Ottawa team down low in the offensive zone. They had terrific control. Even Dustin Wood jumping up in the play, getting in. They've had the pressure. They've had the opportunities. Perra's come up big. And on that last series, Eric Stahl had a nice opportunity, but the puck will bounce up in the air. It's off the boards, gets it to the net, and it's bouncing here. And it's just a tough shot for him to get away cleanly to direct it where he wanted to go.
8:05 to go in the second period. Ottawa has drawn in the lead in this game, 2-1. And last goal, Adam Smith with his second. Bauman and McGrath assisting at 10:27. Pete's coming back 2-on-2. Thrown on goal, J.F. Perra will have to cover up as he gets covered up on the play by plenty of bodies. And look for more of this to happen. The Petes have got to start going to the net. They have to start jumping on top of J.F. Perra, although I don't mean it literally.
Well, Jack, you mentioned the Peterborough team going to the net hard, creating opportunities for themselves. They get down by a goal. Krychek on the last shift, he jumps up into the offensive zone. The one thing they don't want to do is get away from playing their system. Everybody's playing solid defensively. They don't want to start panicking here. There's still a lot of hockey left.
And a 2-1 disadvantage certainly is something the Petes can handle, but once you start getting 3-1, Ottawa's got a very good defensive team. And House plays it back to his line. Elzinga take that one off his skate. That will turn Trevisani back into his own zone. Draft pick of the Carolina Hurricanes. Over on the other side to a draft pick of the Toronto Maple Leafs, Brendan Bell. Hooked off the line, House just onside, but as you can see, he's outmanned. Miguel de Lille will get that one up and out at center, and his numerical counterpart, Elzinga pulling it down. Hernizen deflecting it in the zone. He had not crossed center, and this will go for icing. There's the birthday boy.
You mentioned Carter Trevisani being a draft pick of the Carolina Hurricanes, and I'd spoke with him a little earlier in the season. The one thing that he took away from training camp is that Paul Maurice in practices actually came up, worked with him one-on-one, and really helped him out. He said it was something he wasn't used to because Brian Kilray is a different type of coach. He's more of the verbal, teach that way. But he was really impressed with Paul Maurice and the Carolina organization.
Cardiff down the left wing side over the line. Self will get the pass, tough angle, let it go, and that's deflected away. And back up and out at center. Scully giving chase. Couldn't pick it up initially. Does the second time. And he wheels it rink wide for Pierre Mitsu. Gets it in deep. Ryan Card, sophomore. This is his draft year. He was taken as an underage second round a year ago. Cardiff down the left wing. Drop pass. Self had nowhere to go with it. Slammed it into the right wing corner. Warrior won't get it. Tipped back toward the net by Tardif, but it's grabbed by Perra. Tardif kind of took a look over his shoulder like, did I sneak that one through? The answer would be no.
Perra's done a terrific job as well as shutting down Greg Chambers. They have not given him any room to get away, and Scott Shepard on that last shift all the way down the ice, poking away at Chambers, jabbing him in the shin pads, trying to throw him off his game. And Greg Chambers is a pure sniper, and they don't want to let him give him any room out there. 41 goals during the regular season. He can really get that puck away.
41 is actually more than his previous 2 years combined. He really came into his own this season. Started using that shot of his with confidence. Over the line, Armstrong feathering it through, looking for the deflection off Stahl. Picked up instead by Chamberlain. Stahl out of the corner, centering to Armstrong. Broken up by Sloboda, and Ottawa will counter back. Albiani down the right wing side in the middle for Locke. Poke check. Tipped back off the boards. Fighting his way to the puck first is Jonah Leroux. And down low for Locke, and he'll take a cross check from Ilzinga, who works the puck free to Stahl behind his net. Just about had it poked off his stick. Stahl one-hands the pass ahead, and Krychek will get it down the ice. Things will change up. 5:50 remaining in the second period. In a 1-1 tie. We're watching the OHL playoffs, part of our Canadian Hockey League package on Sportsnet. Glad you're with us this afternoon. Back to the left point. Ryan Card's wrister doesn't get through. And Sloboda will step up, beating it off Leroux. It's going to go down the ice, and Leroux will retreat to his bench. Behind the net, Toronto native Dustin Wood. Up and out through center ice. There's the man who scored the go-ahead goal, Smith. Into the skates of Bauman. Brings it down the left wing side. Rodney Bauman holds up, has Smith open. Wrister, shot right on, and then the puck just trickled wide of the net. David Fury got a piece of that, but was out of position as the puck was rolling. Smith again back at his blue line. Across 2 lines to Rodney Bauman, and the play will be called back. 5 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the second period of play. Could this have been the second goal of the game for Smith? Afraid not. First up for you in Sports Central with Darren Dreger, 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. And then the late show in prime time, Jamie McDonald and Peter Labardius. Sports Central, prime time, Jamie Campbell, Peter Labardius, 10 o'clock in all regions across the country. We haven't seen a lot of this guy, but when Gagnon's been on the ice, John Druce, he has certainly made some things happen.
He always creates opportunities when he's out there. Really does a terrific job getting in the other players' faces and creating some havoc for them, not giving them much room.
Back to the right point, it's kept in. A chance, point-blank territory, and that one's turned away. Good chance for Brett McGrath. Brian Kilray coming back to this line after they scored that goal, and they came back with another chance. And there's Bauman with the hard drive that's going to be gloved by Curie. And these guys are getting scoring chances, so why not come right back with them?
Well, Ottawa now is playing 4 lines. They're using 6 defensemen. They're using everybody that they have in their lineup. Rick Elaine opted to go with 3 lines, 2 extra forwards to start this game. Now with Josh Patterson being out of the lineup, that creates only three lines, and they only play with 3 defensemen mainly. So Ottawa is really, I think, starting to wear the other team down. They're starting to get opportunities to score some goals.
Into traffic goes that backhander, and taken behind the net by Dustin Wood. Lead pass for Matt Herneisen. And over at center. Brendan Bell lost it, knocked in by House. Coming hard is Penner. Into the corner against Bell, and did he take a run at him? House behind the net. Looks for a passing lane. Gets it out in front, but it bounced off Herneisen's stick. Turns back in the corner. Herneisen hit by Bell. The puck rolling into traffic. House working through it. They work it down low. Herneisen behind the net. A centering attempt that doesn't work. There's nobody at the point. The Penner shot is deflected down the ice. Krychek will get it. And an icing call against Ottawa.
Well, you mentioned there's nobody at the point to get it. Krychek was on the far side. Dustin Wood, his partner, had jumped into the slot to try to create a little bit more offense, a little bit more jump in the offensive zone, but it ends up being an icing call down the other way. But they only have 3 defensemen that they mainly play: Krychek, Wood, and Ilzinga. And these guys will get tired as the game goes on.
They played a lot of hockey. Shot short side. Ilzinga's chances denied. Back on the near boards. Hand by Jeremy Akeson, stopped by Chambers, keeps it in deep, Self behind the net against Brendan Bell. Self stays on his feet, whips it behind the goal, but it's going to come off the boards for Akeson with a nice move. Gets around Tardif and then gets it down the ice, but this is going to be called back. Ryan Card has got it. 3:38 left in period number 2, and this youngster Ryan Card, they're working more and more into the lineup, and he would be the 4th defenseman. You talked about the main 3. Card would be bringing up some of those extra minutes.
We talked about the head-to-head matchup. The Peterborough Petes have won 9 of 10 series against this Ottawa 67's club. There's a lot of history between these 2 teams. And the last series Ottawa won was in 1994. Coach of the Petes team was Dave McQueen, now coach of the Erie Otters.
And the defending OHL Coach of the Year after last year. Great job he did with Erie, and he'll be right back in there for contention and consideration for that award again this season. Dave McQueen was here the year the Petes went to the Memorial Cup and hosted it. It was 1996. Doesn't seem that long ago. Of course, Ottawa hosted the last one. Chance in the slot. Albiani tied up, just touched the line. Zion moving in on it, and we're going to get a penalty. The first one in a while for holding the stick, I believe. There is a stick lying on the ice, and it's going against Ottawa, Matthew Albiani.
Well, this is a break that Peterborough Petes needed. Ottawa was really starting to come on during this second period. Albiani getting hooked by Tardif, but doesn't let go of the stick. Tardif lets go of his stick, and the referee decides to call a penalty on that. It could have went either way. We mentioned how much Beers is calling so many penalties in this game, not letting the players play, but I think the Peterborough Petes needed this break on this opportunity here.
And if I'm one of those players and somebody grabs my stick under those circumstances, I'm going to let it go too. So this will be the 6th power play for the Peterborough Petes. They have scored once. They need this to get on even terms. Late stages, second period. Prime check. And Quirks one. Loaded down in the corner now behind the net. Petes will set it up. Out of the corner with Jamie Chamberlain. Puts it back. Working at tight quarters. Chamberlain again. Back in the corner for Stahl. So far shut down in this game. Armstrong will pick it up. It's poked off his stick. Veterans Pride check in from the point. Has it off his boots. And that one's going to bounce around into Ottawa possession. Prychek able to get a piece of that one. And a follow-up will keep it in the zone. Maybe not for long. Konopka takes a solid hit on the boards by Matt Armstrong. A chance the other way. Shot by Miguel DeLille changed direction and went right in on goal. Peterborough on the power play. Ottawa with the lead at 2-1. Prychek. Hard shoot around from center ice. Stahl into the corner for this. John Zion watching him. Stahl out of the corner. Off the boards. Working it there is Armstrong. Back to Stahl. No shooting lane. Down to block with Sloboda. Stahl back in the corner. He gets tumbled over. Back in the line for Wood. Walcott back to deflect that wrist shot. Chamberlain feeding it back to Krychek. Over to Wood for the one-timer, and he got it high, and it's blockered away. Krychek over for it, slaps it off the boards. Armstrong able to tip it in deep, but Sloboda gets it to the line. Ottawa with another chance to clear, and this time it's through Sloboda, or pardon me, Krychek at the point, and down the ice.
It was a good thing they got that puck down the ice. Miguel DeLille was getting very tired. He'd been on the ice for most of that sequence in the offensive zone.
Off the right wing, Chambers, rebound, self, loose puck, snared in there by J.F. Perron. And you can see the Petes taking every opportunity to try and get in and around the Ottawa goaltender, see if they can knock him off his game, because right now he is in his zone. Petes have had 4 shots on the power play so far, so they're getting all kinds of opportunities with 12 seconds remaining.
Well, they're doing the right thing. Greg Chambers, they got the puck to the right guy because he can get the puck away. But Perra has been a wall in there. He hasn't really given up many rebounds, and when they are laying there, he's covered it up like you see right there. But you look at that release of Greg Chambers. I'm so impressed. There's no question why he has scored so many goals this season. I mean, he has been a big surprise for this team, basically playing on the 4th line last year and being a walk-on initially with this Peterborough Petes club, and now emerging as a superstar and actually getting to play in the All-Star game this year.
Blonde seems to be the color of choice for the playoff twos. Shot right off the bat by Herneisen. And a very close call for the Peterborough Petes. 7 seconds remaining in the power play. We've even detected some war paint that the Ottawa 67's made famous last year in their run to the OHL championship. They put another stripe on with every series they won. And by the end of the OHL championship, they all look like cats. Whiskers.
They look like they had been through a war, and I think that was the idea Zenon Konopka had when he brought up that idea with his team.
And it worked for them last year, and so why not go right back to it again? The 67's have had so much playoff success in recent years. Won the Memorial Cup in 1999, but it was a sore spot with Ottawa that they didn't win the OHL championship to go with it. The wing right on. Perron will smother this one. 47.7 seconds remaining. Last year, they were motivated by the lack of an OHL championship. And Zenon Konopka played on that team in 1999. Turned out to be one of those guys who was able to step up and remind everybody they did not have that OHL championship banner to put beside the Memorial Cup banner, and it really motivated them last year.
Well, Zenon Konopka is just an ultimate Ottawa 67's and one of the top face-off man in the league. Earlier in this period, they lost a couple key draws, and you see Brian Kilray getting Konopka out to take the face-off, and they immediately won the next face-off.
And I'd say Konopka, arguably the best face-off man in the Ontario Hockey League. Killer's always been able to find these guys, especially his overages. Dan Tessier a few years ago, particularly impressive. Brad Self with the shoot in, just 20 seconds left in the period. 2-1, Ottawa leading it. Miguel DeLille coming up during our second intermission for Konopka. Just gets it to the line. Play called offside, much to the disagreement of some of the linesmen who paid their way in today.
Well, these Peterborough fans, they can be pretty hard on you. I know I played here for a couple of years, grew up here, but it's a terrific building to play in. There's a lot of history here, and you showed it in the opening with guys like Bob Gainey and Scotty Bowman coaching here, and these are Hall of Fame people that are in the NHL now. So there's so much tradition. I'm proud to be a part of it.
Got a bone to pick with the Peterborough people, though, and maybe we got to talk to your old trainer, Jeff Toohey, who's now the general manager. There was no John Druce banner as we came in, and you had a great NHL career for 10 seasons. You've got to be up there. I'm starting a petition.
All right, I appreciate it, Jack. Thanks a lot.
As the second period comes to an end, and the Peterborough Petes now, with just 20 minutes left, down by just a goal, very much in this hockey game, but when you're facing elimination, that 20 minutes doesn't seem like very much time. Petes take the lead on a goal by Adam Smith. It's 2-1 after 40 minutes. I am. Okay. That's that. I just have to do some promos, then we roll right into you. Okay.
Dreger, it's a time of year when playoff scenarios bridge the gap between the grind of the regular season and the anticipation for the postseason. 2 weeks ago, none of us gave the Toronto Raptors a chance. 17 losses in 18 games seemed an impossible hole to dig out of. 4 straight wins later, and Toronto sits a hair behind the 8th place Indiana Pacers. Today, it's Philadelphia, Morris Peterson, and the Raptors looking for their 5th straight win. Opening quarter, Peterson setting up for 3. He hits that three-pointer. Raptors by 1 early on. Philadelphia's defense trying to do something, working on Jerome Williams here down low. The hoop, he gets the foul. Sixers by 7 after 1. Second period. Mo Peterson on the break. Blocked. At the other end, Dikembe Mutombo. The hook shot, you don't see that very often, but it works. Sixers by 6. More Mutombo. Another hook over Akeem Olajuwon. Philadelphia by 11 at the half. They led 43-32. As it stands now, 43-32 at the half, getting ready for third quarter action in Philadelphia. The Sixers enter, having lost 2 of their last 3. The Toronto Raptors have won 5 of their last 6 versus Philadelphia. Auto racing Formula 1, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Pole sitter 1, Pablo Montoya, taking on Michael Schumacher, starting from the second position. A clean start to this race. Schumacher and Montoya neck and neck in the first corner. Schumacher gets the lead. Montoya looking to pass, clips Schumacher's rear tire and breaks off his front wing. Montoya would be forced to pit, replacing damaged materials in the front wing. Lap 13, Brazilian Rubens Barrichello. Here passes Michael Schumacher to take the lead. And the Brazilian fans enjoying every moment of this. Lap 17, Barrichello running in first. But his car breaks down. They describe it as hydraulic failure. He fails to finish in his hometown. Grand Prix for the 8th straight year. Michael Schumacher there takes the lead. And Brazilian soccer hero Pelé heading to the flag stand with a checkered flag. Wave it, for heaven's sake. Who's he chatting with there? He forgets to wave it. Schumacher crosses the finish line. Brother Ralph taking second. David Coulthard ending up in third. 54th career win for Michael Schumacher. Jacques Villeneuve, as you see, finishing 10th. Join us at 6 o'clock as we will update the Toronto Raptors as well as the LPGA's first major. That's wrapping up. It's the Nabisco Championship, and the Toronto Blue Jays get ready for the season opener. Yet one more preview of that. Those stories and more are coming up on the early edition.
It's a busy week on Sportsnet regionally with the National Hockey League, beginning with Carolina Hurricanes and the Ottawa Senators Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. That will be in the East region. Also on Tuesday night, we will bring you the Minnesota Wild and the Edmonton Oilers. 7 o'clock Mountain Time for the West region. Won't be showing that in Calgary. However, the Vancouver Canuck fans will get to watch the Canucks and the Los Angeles Kings Tuesday at 7:30 in the Pacific region only. And on Thursday night, we'll follow Minnesota into Calgary against the Flames for a 7 o'clock West region start. We're going to show you a lot of hockey this week, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Miguel de Lille having a lot of fun, I'm sure, in his OHL career, because you've got a Memorial Cup championship, you have an OHL championship, and I've got to think that experience is serving you well in this series.
Oh, definitely. We got a lot of guys from the championship team last year. We know what it's about. It's a tough series. Peterborough's giving us a good series, but we know how to win and we know what to do, so I think we're doing a good job right now.
Miguel, there's been a lot of focus on you because, let's face it, you scored 55 goals in a season. People expect the same in the playoffs. What's made it so tough for you?
I think they're checking me well out there. Me and Kanauka have been struggling a bit offensively, but defensively we picked up the slack, and you know, the guys on the fourth line, second and third line are playing really well for us, so there's no need for us to score right now, but it'd be nice to get it going again, and hopefully we will.
It does take the pressure off you, but I've got to tell you, Adam Smith has one more than you do. I don't know if that's a problem for you or not. Tell us what happened today. I know Killer had to leave you behind.
Yeah, my car broke down actually in Ottawa, and they decided to take off without me, and there's a bunch of guys, so one of my friends decided to drive me, so it's great. It's nice to have friends who could bring you to games when the bus leaves on you.
I'll tell you one thing. You're lucky there were no cops out on Highway 7. They must have all been on their Easter break. Miguel, congratulations on a great season and on scoring 55.
Thank you very much.
There's Miguel de Lille of the Ottawa 67's, his team leading 2-1. And don't forget where they started, brought to you by Ackland's Granger, Canada's largest distributor of industrial fleet and safety supplies. Ryan Smith started in the Western Hockey League with the Moose Jaw Warriors. Grant Marshall was a staple with the Ottawa 67's, and Denny Gauthier was a favorite with the Voltigeur de Drummondville.
Toyota CHL Extra, brought to you by Toyota Canada and its dealers.
And we begin in the Delio Conference of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, and we begin with an upset. Quebec Ramparts taking out first place Chicoutimi in 4 straight, 6-1 on Wednesday. Moving on, where Cape Breton wins their series in 5 games after a dramatic 5-4 win over Baie-Comeau. Halifax with a 4-1 victory over Rimouski in Game 5 on Friday. Halifax leading that series 3-2. Game 6 today in Rimouski. Victoriaville 6, Rouyn-Noranda 5 in overtime, and that is a sweep for Le Tigre. Drummondville blanks Val-d'Or 3-0 on Friday to take a 3-2 lead in their series. Game 6 is tonight in Val-d'Or. How about this one for an upset potentially? Hull with a 3-2 win over Montreal, but Montreal leads the series 3-2, and they have home ice tomorrow night in Game 6. In the Eastern Conference of the Western Hockey League, the quarterfinals beginning with Red Deer taking out Lethbridge 3-2, and that is a 4-game sweep. Brandon defeated Saskatoon 2-1 in overtime to even their series 2-2 with Game 5 today in Brandon. Continuing in the Eastern Conference quarterfinals with Moose Jaw defeating Regina 3-1 to take a 3-2 lead in that series, and they could wrap it up at home today. That would be an upset. Swift Current Broncos defeated Calgary 5-4 in Game 5 on Wednesday to take a 3-2 lead in that series. Game 6 tonight in Calgary. And could this be an upset in the making? Kelowna 3, Kamloops 1. Well, it's not in the making. It's over. Kelowna sweeps that series over the first place Blazers in 4 straight. Kootenay defeating Prince George 5-3. That moves them in the lead in their series 3-2. They'll play in Kootenay in Game 6 tomorrow night. Also in the Western Conference quarterfinals, Portland with a 4-0 win over Seattle. That's heading to a 7th game Tuesday in Portland. It should be a dandy. Spokane 2-1 OT winners over Tri-City, and that was enough to give them the series in 5 games. And don't forget to join us right here, Memorial Cup Week coverage beginning on May the 18th, live on Rogers Sportsnet. David Curry has faced 22 shots thus far in the hockey game, and he has stopped 20, and he is going to come up big, has to come up big His Pete's are trailing 2-1 heading into the third period, facing elimination. Our play of the period brought to you by the new Externo skates from CCM. Externo, innovation meets intimidation. Three big guys like this can be intimidating down low. They hadn't seen much ice until this play. Rodney Bauman throws it out in front. Adam Smith gets dumped on the play, but not before he dumps it in the net. And that gives the Ottawa 67's a 2-1 lead.
Rogers Sportsnet CHL Hockey. Brought to you by Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game. And by Sherwood. Proud to serve the hockey world.
Nice crowd here this afternoon in Peterborough for this holiday Sunday, Easter Sunday, and they would like to see their team get back on even terms as we check our second period stats. Brought to you by Aruba, a memory forever. Adam Smith with the go-ahead goal, his second of the playoffs. Bauman and McGrath assisted at 10-27. The only goal scored at even strength. Shots favoring the Petes, 29-22, and 6 of those shots coming, or 11 I should say, coming off the power play. Petes have had 6 chances with a man advantage, John, and probably being a bit of a letdown for them that they've only scored the 1 goal.
Well, it is a letdown. They really need to get on the board here, and they got to take advantage of the chances that they're getting. 1 for 6 isn't going to cut it here, especially against a strong defensive team that Ottawa is playing 4 lines, and they're using their depth.
And when you're playing 3 games in basically 4 days, less when you consider it's an afternoon game, it can take a lot out of you. Corey Locke will turn up ice for the Ottawa 67's. Gets it across the line with a handoff. Albiani warded off the puck. And out of the play, kept in by Sloboda. Down low, intended for Albiani. And Eric Stahl will pick it off, feeding it up into the skates of Armstrong. He'll just sweep it out at center. Poked away from LaRue by Stahl. Back into the neutral zone. Picked up on the wing. Locke is over the line. He has a hard shot and a very strong, a heavy shot when he gets it away. Saw that earlier when he scored on a power play. Pete's will bring it in. Chamberlain delivers right on goal, but at the top of the crease, J.F. Perron will handle it and give up no rebound.
You see Yolan LaRue and Chamberlain mixing it up a little bit, but Chamberlain steps across the blue line and puts the puck on net. And I'm sure Rick Elaine, between periods, said, let's get the puck in deep, work this team down low in the offensive zone, not give them any opportunities, and give ourselves an opportunity to get back into this game. It's only a 1-goal game. Let's not try to have everybody jumping in and trying to do too much. Let's try to keep it simple and stick to the system.
Miguel DeLille one-on-one against Elzinga, scores right along the floor on the stick side. A huge goal for the Ottawa 67's.
Well, DeLille normally facing off against Josh Patterson, which has been the reason why DeLille has been shut down all series. But he gets away from everybody on this play. Starts on the face-off. The Petes try to get it down low, but gets caught pinching in like I talked about. And DeLille, we know he's got 55 goals in the regular season. Gets a little too much room. Elzinga backs off and lets him get the shot away. Doesn't get a stick in front of the shooting lane and puts it behind David Curry.
Not much of an angle for Miguel DeLille to shoot at, but you don't get 55 goals by accident. And he gives Ottawa a 3-1 lead, and that's going to change things for Rick Elaine. They may have to open it up a little sooner than he originally had wanted. And I'm wondering if Miguel DeLille was just spurred on about that comment I made to him about Adam Smith 1 goal ahead of him in the big scoring race for the Ottawa 67's.
Well, I'm sure he did. He's a very proud player, and you don't score 55 goals without having a hunger inside you to do that. When you said that, I'm sure it motivated him.
Well, he was laughing. He's got a great sense of humor as Konopka unloads with a wrist shot. Rebound, scores! Chapman off the glass to a stick in the net.
All of a sudden, the Giants here for the 67's team have woken up. And what a time to do it. Third period, game 6. Pete's on the brink of elimination. But Moyer, again, jumping up in the play. Throws it wide, keeping it simple. They're just getting the puck towards the net. It's high, but it takes a funny bounce right onto the stick at Chapman. But it's simple. Get the puck to the net and look for rebounds. But Curry's looking behind him, and before you know it, the puck came right on the Chapman stick, and it's in behind Curry as fast that he could take a look to turn around to look for the puck.
First goal of the playoffs for Chapman, and Konopka will draw an assist, and probably Moyer. They haven't announced it yet, but 2 very quick goals scored by the Ottawa 67's, 47 seconds apart.
Now this is exactly what Rick-A-Lane did not want to happen. In the second period, you can see the Ottawa team starting to take advantage, get a little bit of an edge, and then the first goal to start this period, Lille, Krychek jumps up in the play, and Lille gets an opportunity, and it makes it tough for the Petes now because they're down by 3 goals in the final period.
Brian Kilray, Vince Millette to his right, longtime assistant coach. Bert O'Brien on the bench as well, and he's an even longer time serving assistant under Brian Kilray. It's been there ever since Killer came back from the New York Islanders in his 2-year stint as an assistant under Al Arbour back in the mid-80s. Chipped up and out, Trevisani at center. These two gentlemen have shared the odd cigar together. Pete's are in there, 2-on-1, shot right on. Self, one hand on the stick, couldn't get unlocked. Now Carter shot right on, and as he has done right along, Perrault has the angle, and he also has the puck.
Well, Perrault, Card gets a shot to the net there, and Perrault was just so square. He's got that butterfly style. The Petes are crashing the net, creating a lot of havoc, but it doesn't faze him. He's so technically sound. He makes the save, doesn't panic, he sprawls out, but this is what impresses me. Patient, nice and calm, makes the save, doesn't try to overreact to it.
And we saw Brad Self coming in, one hand on the stick and a wide open net. He couldn't get his other hand on it. He was more or less reaching off balance. Off on the right point, Chamberlain in front, knocked away from him by Sloboda, tapped in by Elzinga. 4-1 is the Ottawa lead. Petes are pressing here, puck is up in the air. Perrault keeps his eyes on it and now has his glove on it. 17:34 remaining in the third. Offsetting minor penalties, Corey Locke for Ottawa, and going off for the Peterborough Petes. Matt Armstrong will play some 4-on-4. Just the second time in the game, the other one was short-lived. The Petes have got a break. Down by 3 goals. Still lots of time left in this third period. A long way to come back. Check beats it behind his net on the opposite side. Played off the wall by Elzinga. Stahl tips it back through center. Paddle is down. Perrault has it, and it goes to the backhand. And Konopka will take it on the near side. That was quite a shift for Zenon Konopka moments ago. Winning the face-off that led to the DeLille goal, and then had his shot off the glass that led to the Chapman goal. Petes are in there, but a nice poke check out in front of the net by Sloboda. DeLille away 2-on-1. Across the line, there's the pass, and the one-time shot by LaRue is wide of the net. Loose in the corner. He's busted a stick down there. Taken away by Dustin Wood. Now moved up on the right wing side, and Chambers will bring it across the line into the middle for Self, deflected wide. In the corner, Sloboda will take house to the boards, and the puck will be gathered up and taken behind the net by Chapman, and he's going to ice it away. Teams are at 4-on-4. Good battle, and Shepard does manage to get his stick on it first for a face-off in the Ottawa zone.
Well, we talk about the history in this building, the Peterborough Petes organization. We talk about Bob Gainey, Scotty Bowman, Steve Yzerman. But one of the favorites here of all time, and everybody's favorite, Roger Nilsson. We wanted to say hi to Roger and wish him the best. He was put in a hospital. He's not feeling very well, so we just wanted to wish him the best here from Peterborough.
And of course, people not only in Peterborough but right across the continent love Roger. But because of his illnesses in recent years, even a cold can be very devastating. So here's hoping we see Roger back with the Ottawa Senators coaching staff very, very soon. Brendan Bell sets it up in center. It's the low drive right on. Gary gloves it down, handing off to Krychek. 4 minutes down here in this third period. 4-1 Ottawa leading. Poked in behind the Ottawa line. Chapman throws it out. Elzinga has to hold up. Now onside, played off the boards. Bell tips it back the other way. He bounces off Shepard. Krychek from his toes will come up with that. Feed it across, and Target shoots it in as the Petes will change up. Look for the Peterborough defense to really get in on the play as much as they can as we get a long shot off the left wing, stopped by Curie. There's a lot of time left, but as I mentioned, a long way to go. 3 goals down by the Petes. Ryan Card behind his net. We'll start this right. Gets away from one man, not cleanly. Konopka trips him up. DeLille will shoot it in. Card off the boards. Just does get it out at center ice. Bouncing off Penner to Card, and then it kicks back. And Wood, could this be his final OHL game after 4 very distinguished years in the Ontario Hockey League with the Peterborough Petes? Card picking it up at center. Across the line, the defenseman will shoot it in over to the far corner. It's cut off in the far boards by number 17, Jimmy Gagnon. Kitchener native lost it in the corner, comes back through center. Card just does jump off in time. It's going to be sent down the ice. Trycheck is on it. Well, he continues with a drop pass, and Woods takes it behind his net. Justin Wood, big season with 13 goals, 38 assists. Trycheck fakes. Goes down low, puts on the brakes. Watched by Albiani. Looked at the line. Nobody backed him up at the point. The Pete's need as much pressure down low as they can get. Chance centered off the stick of Chamberlain. He couldn't get the one-timer away. And he had some open net to shoot at. One of the rare times, I think, that Peterborough Pete has looked at open net in the Ottawa zone. Out at center. Good pace to the play. Off Armstrong. Now he drives through the check. Picks it up at the line. Armstrong being chased back by Chapman. Drops it back in the corner. Eric Stahl down there. They watched by Konopka. Stahl is in the corner. Down he takes a ride. Keeps the puck within reach. Takes it back to the boards. He bumped. Chamberlain is in the corner. Leading it behind the net. Battling in for it, Armstrong. He has to fight off Sloboda. Trying to get a cycle going. Back to the blue line. Ryan Card, weak shot. And Chamberlain, before he could even think about shooting it, had been checked by Russ Moyer. Way back in deep again. The Pete's trying to get back in this hockey game. Pass is tipped back to the line. Ryan Card sends one up in the air. Lands behind the net. Stahl looks in front. Centering. Shot right on goal by Armstrong. And a fine save turned in by J.F. Perra. The Ottawa 67's 4, Peterborough Pete's 1. You're watching the Canadian Hockey League on Rogers Sportsnet. April 1st tomorrow, but it's no fool. It's going to be Major League Baseball 2002, a season preview beginning at 12 noon Eastern time, followed by the Toronto Blue Jays. And we have a big season of Jays baseball for you, and it starts at Fenway Park in Boston. Jays and the Red Sox to follow. And 1 o'clock, Rogers Sportsnet. 4-1 is the lead for the Ottawa 67's. And John Druce spent a couple of years with these Peterborough Pete's. 1984-85 season. Big year for the Pete's, as I recall, John Druce. You were part of an Eastern Conference Championship team, which back in those days was called the Layton Division, and that would be you right there, number 14.
Oh, you can't show that one out. Now that's a better picture to show.
Well, you made more money in that picture.
Yeah, well, you know what? I love my time here in Peterborough. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But you know, it was the foundation for me being able to play in the NHL, and every player that's come through here, and Peterborough Pete's having the most players drafted ever to the NHL, proves that here the foundation to be a solid player comes from the coaching and the tradition here.
I'll tell you something, that team we were on in 84-85 was pretty good, but the one in 85-86 was even better.
Yeah, we had a couple good teams, and unfortunately Belleville beat us out in my second year, so that made it very tough. So it's not easy to face elimination when you have such a good team.
And that year, Jacques Martin, who was an assistant here in Peterborough at one time, in the 86 season, his team, the Guelph Platers, at that time, went on to beat Belleville in the final series and then went on to win the Memorial Cup. Jacques Martin, now the coach of the Ottawa Senators, and to this day, he wears his Memorial Cup ring. Well,
you know, Jacques was the assistant coach here, and I think he learned a lot here. I spoke with him about it. He loved his time here, but Jacques Martin is an outstanding coach. I respect that man very much. He's done a terrific job with that Ottawa team. But when he did coach that Memorial Cup game, winning team, one of the players that he did coach was Steve Chason, and one of my good friends growing up. So he was a big part of that organization and team as well.
Yeah, and of course, terrible news with Steve Chason there a couple of years ago. Another guy on that team, Gary Roberts. Not a shabby hockey team. Of course, they won the Memorial Cup, and right now the Ottawa 67's starting that road back to the Memorial Cup, which of course will be covered from stem to stern on Rogers Sportsnet beginning in May from Guelph. And boy, did they make quick work of the Kitchener Rangers.
Well, very surprising because Kitchener was coming down that stretch, one of the hottest teams in the Ontario Hockey League, so it surprised me quite a bit.
I figured it'd at least go 6 or 7.
So did I.
That's poked in on goal by number 9, Jamie Chamberlain. He's been all around that Ottawa net in the game, but the thing for Ottawa, J.F. Perra's been making that first save, and there hasn't been anything else out there since, say, late in the first period for the Pete's to get at. There haven't been any rebounds.
That's right. There's been no garbage laying around. There's nothing there for the players to jump on and then put into the empty net. He's covering up anything and not allowing the Pete's to get in there and get a scoring opportunity.
And, of course, getting lots of help down there as well. Ryan Card throws it to his right. Dustin Wood moves it quickly out at center ice. Now for Stahl at the line. Working on Stahl on the back check as Zenon Konopka takes him right to the boards, and there will be a penalty to Konopka. Big Z is going off for boarding.
Well, Zenon Konopka has been playing Eric Stahl very, very tough. The last few shifts, I've been keeping a close eye on him. And Konopka seemed to get a little bit of a burst when DeLille scored that goal. He's got a little bit more jump in his step. And you can see it right here. He plays Stahl very tight. Stahl tries to turn back up ice, but Konopka doing what he's supposed to. Finishes his check, doesn't worry about the puck. And you can tell that Konopka's an overage player. He's got that extra little bit of weight on him, and Stahl still needs to fill out.
Here's the shot by Wood, deep slot. Zenon Konopka's off. This is the 7th power play for the Peterborough Pete's. They have scored once, and there you see another J.F. Perrault save down on all fours.
Well, it's Peterborough. This is very important now for Peterborough to get it back to the point, keep it simple, and get the puck to the net. They've been passing up opportunities to shoot the puck the odd time, and they've got to just get it there and create some traffic. Great havoc for Prague because he's playing too solid.
Self down the far boards. He's a native of Peterborough. And an overage. This could be his last game unless the Pete's can rally. There's a deflection right on goal. Another game, good positioning by Perrault. Down in the corner, came off the boards, and Corey Locke hits that one down the ice, lickety split. And his name is Curie, and he will leave it for Lucas Krychek. 1 minute, 20 seconds left in the power play for the Pete's. They've got to make it happen here. Shot off the wing and right on goal by Greg Chambers. And one more time, J.F. Perrault is there. He has stopped 36 shots in this hockey game.
Well, the goaltending has been a key in this series. Last game on Friday, Peterborough went in, played a very, very good game, but Ottawa felt that that was their best game of the series. Perrault did not have to do anything extra. They cleared the front of the net and didn't give Peterborough any opportunity to score some goals, and they're doing the same thing again here today.
Curry down at the other end has faced 25 shots, 21 saves, and I think they're going to jockey for a timeout unofficially as we get a goaltender change for the Pete's. Cody Spicer has come off the bench. Don't be surprised if you see Perrault come back at some point. Pete's down by 3. Either that or they're going to give Cody Spicer a little taste, but I doubt very much that the Pete's would just pass on this game now and say, yeah, it's over.
I agree. There's too much time left in the game here. They still have an opportunity to get back in the game, and you're right. They need to get their defensemen a little bit of rest because these 3 guys have played a lot.
Ray himself back to Wood. Takes the shot, puts it up. Skate of Krychek. That could be a 2-on-1 coming back the other way. It is. DeLille with Chapman. DeLille. Chapman deflected away. Centered in front, and Self is there and picks it up. That was well executed by the Pete's in the 2-on-1. Here's Stahl back to the, I should say the 67's. Pete's come back. Oh, and a loose puck just does elude Chamberlain. 67's and DeLille. That goal obviously coming in a big time for Miguel DeLille. 52 seconds in. It's the 3rd goal by Ottawa. Chapman scored moments later to make it 4-1. And you knew you were not going to be able to hold Miguel DeLille down for the entire series.
Well, that was the worry for this Peterborough Pete's team. They knew that they had the offensive ability to step out. They just didn't want it to happen. I think Josh Patterson getting knocked out of the lineup is the key to why DeLille had much more room than he had been in most of the series.
Good point. Lane had to juggle things up. Lane off the boards. Power play is over. Albiani in over the line. His drop pass for Locke back to Albiani. Taking behind the net. Pulls up the other way. Feeds it to the blue line. Moyer didn't get a good shot away. And a kick just wide of Locke, who had an open corner. Sent across the crease. Far side, Albiani. Back to Moyer. Backhands it to the side of the net. Bounced off Locke. Moves in behind the net against Elzinga. Now Herneisen will clear. Just getting it off the boards. And back at center ice territory. One more time for Russ Moyer. Missed pass for Locke off the wall. Elzinga takes it behind his net. Right now with 9:15 left, the 67's can play this game any way they want to. Sit back. Sit on it. Take advantage of whatever opportunities come their way because they know that Peterborough Pete's defense is going to have to cheat, and that could lead to some odd man rushes. They have Perrault handing it off. Cleared down the ice, and this is going to come all the way back. 8 minutes and 50 seconds left in the 3rd period. The 67's are that far away from moving on to round 2 of the OHL playoffs. Welcome back to Peterborough. Promotional considerations provided by Bauer, supplying equipment and uniforms to the Canadian Hockey League and its 55 member clubs. Bauer invites you to experience the power of Bauer. Ottawa with a powerful 4-1 advantage with 8:50 remaining, and we can tell you David Curie is back in goal for the Peterborough Petes, and that's no surprise. Down the left wing side, again the 67's keep attacking. That pass for Konopka goes off into the corner. Konopka bodied away, and the Petes will come back. Armstrong with the shoot-in down in the left wing corner. Sandy slams it around the boards. It's cut off on the way. There's a centering pass in front with Armstrong reaching for the deflection. He won't get it. Kept in by Krychek at the left point. Down in the corner it rolls. Konopka quickly moves it off the backhand down the ice. And this will be called back. Going back to this will be Burbank, Illinois native Adam Elzinga.
Well, we mentioned that Peterborough was going with 3 main defensemen, Dustin Wood, Adam Elzinga, and Lucas Krychek. And one of the things the coaches mentioned before the game, that this being a TV game, they get some timeouts. It'll help rest their defensemen. When you get 3 stoppages during every period, so they'll be a little bit fresher. But they really need something for this team to get back on the board, and hopefully that will help them give an opportunity to get in the offensive part of the game.
And Self slapped off the puck. It comes out at center. And now Chapman giving chase, and it's going to be handled by Curie. Moves it behind the net. Chapman is still on it first. Chapman, who scored the 4th goal by the Ottawa 67's. Walk in the corner, puts it out in front of the net, broken up by Ryan Carr. And Brad Self, man down there. Albiani into the corner to Locke. Locke looks out in front. He rang that one right off the post. Looking for a deflection. Bouncing puck, Self picking it up. He's had the odd open net in the game, but hasn't been able to finish it. Gets the screen shot through Sloboda, and Stahl coming hard. It was a good defensive effort by Adam Chapman. Tipped it last moment before Stahl could get a good shot away. Krychek, Elzinga, and on out to center. It's a 2-on-1. Stahl with Gagnon. Stahl can't get the pass across. Good defensive play. An Ottawa defenseman went down and blocked it. And somewhere in there is that defenseman. It's Karol Sloboda.
Well, Brian Kilray mentioned how solid Sloboda is defensively, and this Ottawa team is doing everything it takes to sacrifice. Eric Stahl trying to force this pass through. He needs to take the open ice and get that puck on net, because they've been trying to make pretty plays and it's not getting through, and Sloboda makes a nice stop on that play, and now he's sent to the penalty box.
He was on his back, basically. Now, you could see him come around. He was thinking about putting his hand on the puck. And he made that motion and then seemed to pull it back. Now, maybe that's why they have sent him off. If you do that later on in the game, the last couple of minutes, it's a penalty shot. We haven't heard the announcement, but that's the only conceivable thing that I can see the penalty call being for.
2 minutes for delay of game.
Now they call it delay of game, and now a penalty against the 67's. They're going to be 2 men short. Armstrong is shaken up in the corner.
Well, Brendan Bell and Armstrong went into the corner, and Bell came out, and Armstrong ended up being on the ice. But this is an opportunity for Peterborough to take advantage, a 2-man advantage. But in the corner, to the right top of the screen, Brendan Bell and Matt Armstrong go into the corner as the play is on the other side of the ice. Bell gets his stick up and just catches him underneath the chin. And Matt Armstrong making no mistake staying down to make sure the referee did see it to draw the penalty.
So a 2-man advantage coming up, and a 4-minute penalty against Brendan Bell as he drew blood on Armstrong.
And Matt Armstrong going to the Pete's bench, but Brendan Bell in the box, a double minor for high stick, and this is an opportune time for this Peterborough Pete's team to get back into this game.
Petes have had 39 shots on goal in the game, 14 on the power play in their 7 previous man advantages. They now have a significant 2-man advantage for 1 minute and 40. Table is set if they're able to do anything with it. But Ottawa's penalty kill has been outstanding in the game. Brought around by number 3, Dustin Wood. Krychek drops it off. Chambers at the left point. It's a 5-on-3 power play. Self is in the corner, slap back. Woods waiting for it at the point. Right back to Self from the half boards. Self looking. We'll feed it to Wood. Wood's going to move in and shoot it. Missed the net. Open side. Chambers couldn't get it through in time. Picked that by Stahl. That wouldn't have counted anyway. Kept in at the line by Krychek. Across for the one-timer. Fake. Now Wood. Side of the net. Chambers misfires. Chambers back to Krychek. Right back to Chambers, moving it off the dot. Chambers. Krychek. Chambers again. Down low. Side of the net. Stahl in traffic. And lots of help in the crease for J.F. Perron.
Well, Peterborough moving the puck around very, very well. Chambers off to the side of the net. He has his stick cocked, ready to get the shot away, but nothing is coming through clean. Woods getting the puck to the net. It's off to the side, but just doesn't get the puck quick enough, and Perron just covers enough net. The key there was Travis Sandy holding Eric Stahl's stick out front of the net. He held it just long enough and didn't let him get any wood on it to get the puck towards the net.
Pete's working the points nicely. They're getting those shots in as a timeout is being called. And Rick Lane wants to go over the power play again. So we will take a quick break as well. With 6:03 left in the third period, Peterborough down to their last gasp. Have a look at our game story brought to you by Bauer. Ottawa, those 2 goals in 47 seconds early in this period, and J.F. Perron have certainly been the keys in this hockey game, but specialty teams have played a big part, especially on Ottawa's side of things. The penalty kill has been excellent. 2-man advantage for another 40 seconds by the Petes. Back to the line. Krychek moving in, sending it back. Chambers, snapshot right off of Konopka. Krychek repeating Chambers for the one-timer. Woods got it on goal, and then the rebound is just tipped away.
Perron moving so nice laterally across his crease, getting on those one-time shots by Dustin Wood. Excellent job.
Chambers getting in through Konopka, down in the right wing corner against Moyer. Still has it behind the net. Bank pass to Krychek. Looked like he might one-time it. Didn't. Chambers does, and that one deflected straight up in front of Perron. Kept in. Woods again. Dustin Wood, Krychek lets it go and missed the net. One man out of the box, it's Sloboda. Still 2:05 remaining in the double minor penalty against Brendan Bell. And I think that part of it has really taken the steam out of the Peterborough Petes. Under 5 minutes to go here in this third period. 67's that much time away from advancing to face the Toronto St. Michael's Majors in round 2. And there's always a Toronto-Ottawa series, it seems, in the offing. They played last year. Toronto and Ottawa did. Ottawa taking the Majors out to win the Eastern Conference. And of course, there could be another Toronto-Ottawa series shaping up very soon as well for the 3rd straight year in the National Hockey League. It's going to be cleared out of play with 4:22 left.
Well,
sorry.
No, it's okay. Brian Kilray has done a terrific job coaching this team, especially knowing this is the 6th game in the series. He's used all of his players on the bench, and I think it's the smartest coaching move that he could have made is utilize his depth. They have 14 guys left from last year's Ontario Hockey League Championship team, so he's done a terrific job. He's really put the players on the ice in the right situations.
And the scary thing about it is, John, to pick up on that point with so many returning players, they don't lose that many after this year.
No, they don't. They have so much depth, it's unbelievable for next year even.
Well, they'll be in great shape again. We'll see if Doug Growenstage gets a chance to be in goal, or if John Ceci is ready to step in and be the #1 guy. Either that, or maybe there's another J.F. Perron out there. Could picked him up just 2 games into the season. The Peterborough net is empty. Down by 3, they're pulling out all the stops, not to mention the goalie. Self in over the line, trying to split the defense, gets his stick hung up. Nice drop pass for John House, but he couldn't convert, and it's knocked away. 40 seconds left in the Brendan Bell penalty. The puck rolls down in the corner. And the Petes, 6 attackers, 3:35 left. Off the skate itself, and it ping-pongs back inside the Pete zone. Elzinga in front of his net. Handing it off. Here is Wood. Lille is on him. And they were crowded in the corner. DeLille looking for the face-off, which would force the Petes to put the goalie back in. Right now, time is winding down, and Stahl will extricate the puck and come away. Down the left wing side, Stahl rink wide right side. Self tried to drop it back for House. Good positioning by Moyer, and down into the corner where they'll battle again. Now it came loose. Back to the blue line. Krychek winds and shoots. Hammered off the board. Side of the net. Scores! Brad Self is in the crease, and there is a faint hope for Rick Alain's team, down by 2 with 2:59 left.
A risky coaching move by Rick Alain, taking the goalie out, but they had to do something to create some constant pressure, and that's exactly what they did. They get control of the puck down low and win the battles. 2-3 guys on the puck, gets it back to the point, but coming out of the corner, Self just gets finds himself on the doorstep with an empty net. Perra just not there in time to get it. But there it is, the key traffic in front of him, house out front of the net, Self coming out of the corner. Good work by the Petes.
Self with the second playoff goal. Ottawa still leading by 2 with 2:40 remaining in the third period. Play down in the Pete zone. And the handoff is Card, will peel back in the corner. For Krychek off his skate. Put it right back to the Ottawa line. Brendan Bell will try and wiggle his way around Chamberlain and get a one-hopper down off the left pad of Curie. Card behind his net, 2:20 remaining. Up to the line, picked off by Shepard, but Card will follow up and get it out. We'll keep an eye on the Peterborough net. David Curie's going to wear himself out. He's already been to the bench twice in the last few minutes. And he's standing at the top of his crease. Right now, Pete's can't get control of the puck. Ottawa gets it out again. Ryan Card, right side. Wood shoots it in. Curie heading for the bench. Trevisani deep in his zone into traffic. Kept in by Wood. Centered back. Here's the shot wide of the net. Side of the net. Chambers scores!
Greg Chambers on the doorstep. He's right in his favorite spot. He comes out, there's an initial shot, comes again. Funny bounce off to the side of the net, and Chambers finds an open side of the net. Sneakily, he's coming in from behind there, but fortunate the puck comes off the boards in the right spot. We saw it earlier with Chapman's goal, just bouncing right on the stick. But Greg Chambers coming up big here, and it's a hockey game with a couple minutes left.
Right-handed shot, left side, wide open corner. He couldn't miss, and he didn't. His fourth playoff goal. It's now 4-3. Ottawa's still in the lead. Play is down inside the Pete zone with 1:35 remaining in regulation. Lucas Krychek now moving it out for Peterborough. Thrown up on the left side. Self in over the line. Winds and shoots, and Perra snaps that one up about 2 inches off the floor. 1 minute and 25 seconds left. We've got a hockey game as the 67's lead by 1.
Rogers Sportsnet CHL Hockey. Brought to you by Canadian Tire. By Dodge. Grab life by the horns. By Molson Canadian. It's a Canadian game. And by Sherwood. Proud to serve the hockey world.
Jack Miller, John Druce, 1-goal hockey game. Crowd is on its feet, cheering on their Peterborough Petes. They have scored twice, but time is not on their side. And even with the face-off in the Ottawa zone at the moment, Curie remains in the net. Probably just as well as the 67's win the draw, kept in by the Petes. Chamberlain drives it toward the net, and the one hopper into the glove of Perra, and he will hold on. 1:15 left in regulation. Pretty surprised that Curie is still in the Peterborough net.
Well, they scored 2 goals with him pulled in these last few minutes of play, but the key here is Zenon Konopka on the faceoffs. He just lost the draw.
And Krychek has it. And he couldn't shoot that one around to Lille. Left wing corner, Tarda feeding it behind the net. Bouncing away from Armstrong. He gets hooked to the ice. And it will be cleared up and out by Konopka. Krychek in front of his net. They will have to go and retrieve it. We're in the final minute of the third period. And it's centered, played in, Stahl giving chase, but it's going to roll down on goal, and this will be fine with the Peterborough Petes as they're going to get a face-off inside the Ottawa zone.
I mentioned Zenon Konopka. It's very important. He's probably the best face-off guy in the Ontario Hockey League, if not the Canadian Hockey League. So the Peterborough Petes have to bear down on this face-off. Konopka is one for 2 in the last 2 draws in his own zone here. Eric Stahl's got a tough job ahead of him.
17 years old, Eric Stahl, big responsibility, and the Petes are able to keep it in the zone, and now their net is empty. Loose puck far board, Self down low for John House, who picked up an assist. on the last goal scored by Chambers. Wood, wrist shot right on. Big rebound up in the air. They slap away at it. 67's can't clear. It's right back in traffic. Zion bumped off the puck. Chambers behind the net. Chambers gets it back in the slot, taken in the skates by Krajcek, and then it's blocked. This is going to be a wide open net. Jonah Leroux will take the shot and miss. Centered, and Krajcek has got it. 15 seconds left in the third. And center ice, battle for it. Bodies on the ice. They can't pry it away from Konopka. Now slapped back at the empty goal and in, and that will be it. J.F. Perra has faced a barrage of 49 shots on goal. You can see his reaction a moment ago.
Well, Peterborough pulling out all the stops, trying to do whatever they can to put pressure on, but a nice play in the defensive zone. Sliding to block a shot to get through to the net. Created an opportunity for Ottawa to clear the zone. And boy, oh boy, Jonah Leroux has an empty net shot, misses it. And then finally the puck gets into that empty net.
And lucky for Jonah Leroux that Ottawa was able to get that fifth goal. Otherwise, it could have been a long trip back on the bus.
That's exactly right.
The Ottawa 67's complete the playoff picture in round 2 in the Eastern Conference. They have a date with the Toronto St. Michael's Majors. Belleville Bulls and the Barrie Colts will hook up. The Western Conference not quite set yet. There's still some big series to be decided there, including London and Plymouth, Windsor and Sault Ste. Marie, and Brian Kilray. He's taken this walk many times to shake the hands of the losing team, and I'll tell you something, his team hasn't been a loser very often. Here is the goal that broke the camel's back. Miguel DeLille with our play of the game, brought to you by Bauer. Experience the power of Bauer. That made it 3-1. Wasn't long afterward, Adam Chapman made it 4-1, but that was the catalyst goal right there.
Well, I think you gave him a little bit of encouragement in that interview there. He came right flying back in the third period and comes up with a big goal. It was a huge goal for this team because he'd only had one, and if they were going to go on and continue to be successful in this next series like they are going to, Miguel DeLille is going to have to be one of those players that helps lead the 67's team.
Tough situation for Rick Elaine and his Peterborough Petes. The Petes have not won a playoff series in many years, and been a lot of pressure on him. He's done a very good job here in Peterborough in a very tight conference this year. Just 5 points between the 67's, who finished tied for first, as well as the Peterborough Petes. Our 3 stars are brought to you by Toyota Canada and its dealers. From bottom to top, Drake Chambers with the goal and an assist for the Petes gets star number 3. Miguel DeLille steps up today and gets second star. J.F. Perra, 46 saves. Boy, did he come to play.
Oh, he really did come to play. And you mentioned Miguel DeLille. He did not score a lot of goals. He had 2 goals in the series, but I noticed today that he was really jumping on the penalty kill, doing the things defensively, like he said that they were looking for him to do if he wasn't going to score. And it really paid off. And this Ottawa 67 team did a terrific job, but you got to give Rick Elaine and Steve Smith credit. They did a terrific job coaching this Pete's teams in this first round.
5-3. Ottawa wins it. Stay tuned for Sports Central coming up 15 minutes from now with Darren Dreger, 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific. And don't forget our later show tonight. We will bring you Sports Central Prime Time with J.B. Campbell and Peter Labardius, 10 o'clock, all regions across the country. This has been an exciting series. Certainly a tough one for the Peterborough Petes. The Ottawa 67's have come through with a 6-game victory. And today, some big goaltending by J.F. Perra, probably the big key in this series. We hope you enjoyed it. On behalf of John Druce, Jack Miller, bidding you a very pleasant Easter Sunday from Peterborough.
For all the latest scores and analysis, it's sportsnet.ca. Be there.
The Ottawa 67's move on to round 2 of the OHL Eastern Conference playoffs after a 5-3 win over the Peterborough Petes. And it gets wild. Let's face facts. 2 goals late in the game. J.F. Perra with 46 saves. You must have just been barely hanging on to the fort there.
Yeah, especially when they gave us they gave them a 5-on-3, and they just tired us down, and they pulled their goalie at the end, and they just had a man on top of us all the time, and it was tiring at the end, but we came up on top.
What was the key in winning 2 games on the road in the series?
I think finishing our checks was a big thing. I mean, there's a couple games where we didn't finish our checks, and the guys their defensemen, they had skill, and they just came at us and scored a few goals actually in here, and even in Ottawa one game, and it was a tough series. I mean, it was just tough.
It certainly paves the way for your next series. Perhaps a word about what to expect with the Toronto St. Michael's Majors.
We're gonna have to work hard against them. They're a hard-working team too, and I mean they haven't lost a lot of games at home this year, and we went in there and actually we shut them out in their barn this year. So we're looking forward to go back in their barn and have some good games.
We were looking at some of your saves a moment ago. Was there any particular one that stood out as being a key one for you and the team today?
I don't know. Maybe there's one save I made earlier in our first goal, I think. Where I made a save and we had a rush up the ice and scored a goal right away. So I think they gave us a chance to be on top maybe on that play.
It's a long road in the OHL playoffs. You've just passed the first hurdle. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
J.F. Perrault with 46 saves this afternoon. The Ottawa 67's win this series against the Peterborough Petes in 6 games.